make me wanna. The bills make me wanna. The bills make me wanna.
Listener's discretion is advised.
This is a Kmart production, brought to you by Doug's Chiropractic and Empire Towing and Recovery.
Sawbills Podcast.
This is just how they freaking order. You and I, you and Woody, we're gonna go the share. You got it. And we'll skip the headphones this week. Dude, that TC Wheeler's a good slice. Bell's good too, though.
It's consistent. That's the
South Buffalo?
Lackawanna, but yeah.
Yeah. We never done this one? What did we do in the South Towns? Yeah.
We've done Imperial and Wise
That's
Guys.
the one. Yeah.
These are two very close. This is good.
Something must have happened at Wise Guys because remember I was saying here, it wasn't what it usually is. I had a pizza like, I don't know, probably sometime last week. And once again, it wasn't what it used to be. So I don't know if they switched like managers or something.
Are we rolling here? Is that what we're,
Beat rolling. Here's those pics I found and updated. Oh, sorry. What was the?
You had the blowout pick.
He did.
A couple of you guys had 31.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What was the final? 31-10?
Yeah. Danny, did you have 31?
Well, that ain't gonna
Berg
work.
had 31.
Yeah.
You had 31.
Mike finally didn't want to pick 31.
Come off of 31. Look at that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep picking against him because
Those are some good
it keeps
slices.
turning out good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. This is very tough. All right. Anybody need? Oh, wait.
They're a little greasy.
Well,
I'm going to tell
you got that.
I can say
you got that much Roni on there.
Right.
I feel like this is going to come down to a sweet sauce versus non-sweet sauce
Could.
again
Or,
this
I
week.
think
or
the thickest.
thicker versus
Mhm.
the softer.
I feel like this TC Wheeler's is a lot like the Fat Man's last week.
Great.
Thick cheese. You haven't taken a bite yet?
TC Wheeler's is good though.
Yeah, it's good.
So it's reminds me of the Fat Man density, but
Not quite as sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good slice.
They're both good.
$36 good?
I mean, it's a lot of pizza. Like, it's a friggin' thick bite.
Yeah, it's a big
so
one.
You're paying
If
for...
it wasn't for like how thick it was, I think it would be hard to justify, but it does kind of fill you up.
Well, while we're just eating pizza,
Yeah.
I'll bring out my last Christmas surprise. You'll especially like this, Sean.
The Bruins hat.
I would say it's dangerous.
Found this bad boy.
I knew it. I was gonna be Pogues.
Rest in peace, Shane.
Wow.
Got him from the Pogues.
Oh my God.
Did you order that?
No, so I.
How'd
You
get
know
this so
those buy nothing groups on Facebook? Where
No way!
people are
Somebody
giving
was
away-
giving that away
Yeah. So this woman.
in town.
Yep. This woman, she makes them.
For
And-
folks or for anybody.
Well, for a lot of different things. So I actually got one last year of Jordan Poyer. And it says like St. Jordan on it and stuff, and it's got his face or whatever. But she makes them for like eBay and Etsy and stuff. And whenever she doesn't place a sticker on there like to her liking, like straight enough, she gives them away.
Wow.
On
And
that site.
and that's
How the
a
hell?
misprint.
Yeah, so she said she didn't like how the sticker went on, like a little off, whatever. But she said like it's like her and her husband's like one of their favorite bands and stuff, and how
What are the
that-
chances?
Yeah, and I said, oh yeah, you know that Fairy Tale of New York is one of my favorite Christmas songs, And she's like, "Oh, us too," da, 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 you know. So, so when I saw it, I like messaged like right away, like, "Yes, very interested," and like, yeah.
Were you the only one that commented on that, so they didn't have to wait?
I think I was probably the only one that commented on that, but I'll have to go back and look.
You know who I have? It's not
Isn't that
Saint,
nice?
though, but I have Gordon Downey.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
So figured I would bring that for some
thank you.
seasonal beauty here.
Yeah.
That is
This could be the hardest pizza pick of the season right now. Well, maybe Bocce Imperial is close too.
The Wheelers is good. I didn't even try the Bella yet. Kind of pretty much know what it is, but
Hopefully they don't let you know.
yeah.
Brandon, we were, I think before you came, we were talking Kwanzaa Tuesday night after Christmas sounds pretty good if that works for you.
Probably.
All right, excellent.
Yeah.
Folks, it's in the books. Right up.
Break out my Kwanzaa menorah or whatever they call that.
Well, do you have, I got to do a little research on the history of the Kwanzaa. Or do you already know it?
I think you're good.
Don't bring it up at all?
No.
Just release it Wednesday, so it was like we recorded on Wednesday, so we don't have to talk about it.
I think you're okay.
I know what you're doing New Year's. What's your Christmas usually look like? How many different places do you have to go?
Oh, wow. Wife is predominantly Christmas Eve. My family's Christmas Day. So it was one of those things that we kind of took care of. They have a big blowout Christmas Eve, and my family does it Christmas Day. So there's not a lot of jumping back and forth
Yeah.
states. It was literally, I don't know if it's an Italian thing or a Buffalo thing, but that was the big to do at New Year's. That's where we would get La Hacienda. No, I'm sorry. Oh my God, that was Freudian.
Folks, he just said it. La
Please cut
Hacienda.
that right out there.
Criddle, you heard it here.
Lenova's.
Lenova. Sesame seed crust?
We had.
We haven't had
We have
Lenova
not
yet.
had
We got to get Lenova.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is it on our list here? It is not on our list. TC Wheelers is on our list. Frickin' Molinaro is on our list.
We haven't had it though yet.
Who, Molinaro?
Yeah.
No. Now, is that more of a New York style, Molinaro? Could have done that versus Ulysses.
Yeah.
You think it is?
Criddle is saying we should do Gino over City of Tonawanda by the river. What would that be? River Road and Niagara Street.
Oh.
There's that Tops there.
Yeah.
There's a plaza next to the gas station. That pizza joint's in there. He says it's his wife's favorite. So we'll put it on the list.
As far as like New York, people talk about that one Gino in New York University Plaza.
Yeah.
I've had that.
There's one.
It's pretty good.
I
don't
had
know.
their special.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Molinaro's is just thinner. I don't know if I call it. Like, Ulysses is more New York style, yeah, I think. More thin, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like Molinaro though.
How soft there, Sean?
Thank you, Kyle.
Oh, dude. A little too much eggnog. In the yellow one. A little too hard on the egg.
I mean that's what it is.
No, I know.
I mean-
that one was light. This one's got a lot.
Yeah.
Bourbon and eggnog. Kyle's rough when it comes to those two drinks.
Pittsburgh versus upstate.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's definitely more creamy and like almost like more milky. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody know what episode we're on? Podcast.
16, I think.
Bingo.
Mm.
You win a hug.
Great.
Zabills can drive.
Fuck, why does this keep... Oh, well. So, Denny, how's your hometown favorite hanging in there versus the TC Wheeler?
It's good. It's gonna be close though.
Yeah, it
I'll
is.
leave it in suspense,
Yes.
but it's close.
There you go, Sean. Use the holders from Corey.
Good Corey. Corey's the man.
Folks, Mike was able to eat both slices this week, it looks like.
He's
You didn't have to choke it down.
He didn't have to, yeah. No struggling there.
You guys will probably disagree with me, but remember I grew up on Pizza Junction pizza, and that TC Wheeler reminds me of
Yeah.
a true Pizza Junction. The only thing it's missing is the cheese isn't quite as thick.
Yeah.
But the taste, the crust, I almost said peanut butter, the pepperoni.
Peanut butter on a pizza. Corey had that once at Woodcock Brothers.
Okay.
peanut butter, banana, and something on this pizza, and he ate
wow.
like almost
That's like
all.
a dessert.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
That's an Elvis thing.
Yeah.
Well, they say that grill on Erie is Pizza Junction style.
One of the options when I was ordering online yesterday for today, but they're closed, so I couldn't do it, is Junction style or traditional. So I was going to go Junction.
Well, I know you guys didn't really like Good Guys, but Good Guys is closer to the original Junction. From what I hear, I've never had the grill on Erie yet, but all the locals from where I grew up say that Good Guys is better. So.
All they had to do was just cook that pizza a little bit longer. So if you wanted to see how your voice translate, that's me right now. That's almost a little too high. And then, if you're Dennis, it's like this over here, just barely
Wow.
a bump.
Sounded well last week.
For this setup,
Yeah.
it was way better than the first time we did it.
Any
All right, you got-
tracking update yet?
It should be here with Thursday.
Okay.
It'll be here for Kwanzaa.
That's our Kwanzaa gift then, right?
It's a gift that keeps on giving. You have that shirt, Brendan? Jolly the Month Club shirt?
I do not, but I do have a. Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho.
Excellent. Wear that next time.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get going. Episode 16, Zabil's Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle. If you have never tuned in before and this is your first time, thanks for giving us a taste. And we are a podcast that reviews 2 buffalo pizzas, cheese and pepperoni, and we discuss the Bills, win or lose. And we love our Bills. TC Wheeler, City of Tonawanda, versus or alongside with Bella's from South Park, Lackawanna. Next to me to my left in his usual seat is Dennis.
Hey, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
How's your... Man, we podcasted just the other day. We go like 2
Yeah.
weeks without, and now it's within a week we're doing another one.
Yeah, it's quick. It's this time of year so busy.
Yes.
You gotta love Christmas time, but it's just busy all the time.
You ready?
Oh yeah.
Good. Good.
How about you?
Like I said, I got an angel for a wife, and I got a few things coming in the mail, so
Nice.
I'm going to, last second, be the hero here.
Good job.
So,
That's the way to do it.
yeah. And then, Brendan, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good.
Congratulations on the Ken East modified basketball
Hey,
victory
cheers
tonight.
to Kenny's Bulldogs Modified
Yeah.
Team. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell
Ding,
yeah.
ding, ding.
Um,
First one of the season.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Sean, you look confused?
I'm always ecstatic for Ken Maurice. Go Bulldogs.
Yeah.
What's new with you, Brendan? I see you got the Griswold Wally World mug.
It's probably one of my favorite mugs that I have. It's a authentic Christmas Vacation moose mug there.
Do you mind if I put you on the Zob Bills Podcast
for sure.
Instagram page with that picture?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I usually do a little Egg Nog each night with it.
Excellent.
But tonight I'm going straight bourbon, as that is customary here, as it appears.
It has become the official drink of the Zob Bills Podcast. What accessory compliment do you like to put into your eggnog?
I mix it up.
Okay.
Depends how I'm feeling. I think that rum or brandy is typically the one that most people go for. But if the bourbon's closer in reach, it definitely goes in.
And Mikey. Hey, Mikey.
I've been called way worse.
How you doing?
By neighbors. No, I'm just kidding. That was a inside joke.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. Yesterday, stress-free win. Now we're going to have some stress-free bourbon. This is perfect.
Hey, like Skip says, Bills Mondays are a great start to the week.
Speaking of neighbors, I was parking today on your street, pulled in the driveway, almost ran over that white rabbit.
No shit,
in
you
somebody's
almost killed
driveway.
it.
Yep, really close.
Damn.
Really close.
Bob texted me. He goes, have you seen this white rabbit around the neighborhood? I'm like, mm-hmm. I told him while the
Oh,
your
yeah,
kids
it's an
did.
ongoing thing, yeah.
They like Bob's front yard. It likes it. It sits in his front yard.
Whoa,
every
whoa, whoa.
night.
It's making it all the way down towards your house now?
It's been in my yard. It's been in Bob's yard. I haven't seen it go past our driveways yet, but
Damn thing's going to be munching on the island in the middle of the boulevard.
I noticed that the house in question has a pet cage in the front garden.
So you walk around
It's
the
a normal
corner and the
accessory.
cage is in the front yard.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't we all have one? I don't know.
Yeah. All right, and Chris, welcome back again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're a cornerstone now at the Octagon.
Yeah, it's that time of the season for football, so yeah, I'm here.
The frickin' fortune teller here.
Frickin' fortune teller, yeah.
Chris showing off the hair tonight. I
Yeah.
haven't seen Chris without a hat on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably had a hat on most
All
nights.
right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he showered and everything, cleaned up for the podcast.
Yeah, nice.
Not even Sunday.
Yeah, right.
What's new and exciting since the last time? Hockey updates?
Hockey is kind of a down week right now, actually, with the holidays coming here. So, some practices. There's a St. Joe's game this weekend, actually, Friday night. That's actually our last one. And then, yeah, just kind of doing our thing,
Excellent.
Yep.
And everyone's favorite Bruins fan,
Die hard.
Sean.
What's going on, Kyle?
Dun dun dun.
I know. It's an off night for the Bruins. Took 4 out of 6 out of New York City and New Jersey. We'll take it. Bills,
People
huge
love
win.
how you drop the facts on the Bruins so easily.
Listen, man.
How many hours do you study your Bruins trivia / statistics before you come over here to embarrass us?
A week? Or
A
are
week.
we talking a year? Probably,
I'm just talking since the last
7,
time
8,
I've
9,
seen
10
you.
hours a week.
Oh my God.
Devoted.
And your kids the same way.
I'm converting a couple of them. I used to throw it out there that you can't live under my roof. You can live in the garage if you're not a Bruins fan, but my wife pushed back. My youngest one's a Sabres fan. She's a Sabres fan. My daughter and my older son, they're
So
Bruins
3-2
fans.
Bruins.
It is. Yeah.
All right.
That's
Now-
good?
Now,
what-
Sean,
Yes, sir.
I saw you getting out of a black Ford Fusion on the street.
Okay.
Is that your vehicle?
It is.
I noticed that you have a Buffalo Sabres license plate holder on
Yeah.
the back of that thing.
Okay. So that is true. The other vehicle we have has a Bruins one, and I just think it's safer for me where I work to not give away my car based on my license plate. So no one would ever think of my car with that safe. Maybe look at it and be like, is that my Sabres? Not his car.
Saves it from getting keyed.
It was
and
one
things
of
like
those
that.
things where it's like, I think I'm just gonna leave it there for my own car's protection.
Speaking of your job,
sir.
you and Chris have similar professions.
Correct.
How is your 2 weeks this week? Like chaotic as crazy, or
It
you guys
will.
are older, so it's not
Yeah,
as
I mean, it's-
crazy
it's-
as
it's getting up
like
there.
Alicia's week?
It's it's not as bad as elementary school, but it's once you hit Wednesday, Thursday, it does become slightly a gong show. But
Well, what movies are you going to start playing at the end of the week?
well,
Polar Express.
Candy play.
oh
yeah, there you
What
go.
movies did you start
listen,
playing last
listen.
week that you're just continuing to play
Yeah,
to this week?
my district's slightly different than Chris's, so I probably get away with a lot more. But I don't know, whatever. It's whatever. That Friday is a total wash, and that's how it goes. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, you know what? Last week, I thought the kids were pretty wound up. And sometimes you'll get like a off week right before Christmas where they're calm. Doesn't happen often, but you're expecting more of a storm, and it doesn't really happen until Friday. So we'll see. Friday's gonna be a movie day. We'll see whatever the kids want. I see them for 20 minutes a period, whatever they want, Netflix, whatever they're thinking.
Speaking of Netflix, people, the trailers for Aquel Foley are coming out. We might have the watch party. That'd be fun.
Didn't look too bad either.
So wait a minute, you're not joking around. You've never seen the original Beverly Hills
No,
Cop?
I have seen
Oh,
that,
okay.
but I had
all
no
right.
idea that's the guy's name. So,
What?
when did that movie come out?
1988, yeah.
I wasn't even born yet.
Folks, he's
But
our
there were
youngest
sequels, though.
member on the pod.
There were sequels.
3.
There, 3 of them. Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably saw
Total
one
three.
that was like burned onto a VHS tape once.
Wow.
Okay, well, first of all, you don't burn anything on the VHS tape.
Hey, I burned plenty of VHS tapes, all right?
That's different. All right, are you gonna get in on this? No. Okay. All right. She's out.
We might need a tiebreaker.
We might. We'll see if Blackout shows up. All right. So let's review real quick our picks from last week. I picked against the Bills, so I'm an ass. Sean, closest, 38-13. Denny, Denny, 31-28 Bills. Skip threw in a 28-24 Bills. Brendan also went with me. He thought it was going to be a big shootout. I mean, at first it almost looked like that. 24-17 Bills. Chris, 29-23 Bills. And our favorite new guy. You guys are loving the Blackout, 31-22.
I said top 5 nicknames of all time. Blackout. I was just thinking about that.
That's
Blackout.
And you don't even. It could be military related. It could be alcohol related, which this is the case. But
If you've listened to the pod, you know exactly what's connected.
Yes.
If you've done your pod research and you've watched it, you know exactly.
If you've Googled blackout, you know.
You've got it. And I think that's part and parcel why he's going to be absent today. I think we predicted it. It was
He's
going to be
recovering?
a party atmosphere, and oh my God, was it a party atmosphere? And
He made a blackout.
blackout wherever
Well,
you
there's no
are right
May.
there.
He did.
You enjoyed that game. Take the night off.
Yeah, that's a game definitely to blackout. So, all right, folks, we're going to get into the pizza segment. Half of you probably, that's all you care for. Dennis, do you want to, since we'll go like we're playing cards here, we'll go to the dealer's left.
Sure.
TC Wheelers, Bella's.
So, TC Wheelers.
Yeah.
And it hurts me a little to say that. I think that shows you how serious we take this on the podcast. Because if you ask, like, any of my family members, anybody, like, Bella all the time for me. Like, that's 100% my favorite. But if I'm being honest, TC Wheelers was a little bit better. The cheese was nice and thick. The pepperoni on both were really good, actually. I think that Bella would have been a little bit better if it was a little bit warmer. Now, I delivered it here, so I wrapped it in a blanket, thinking that would be it. So I was trying to go for it.
That's quality, yeah.
But it still was a little. I think that was the difference for me.
Okay. You really think the blanket and keeping it longer
Well,
distance hurt it?
I don't think it hurt it. I was hoping it would help it more.
Oh.
I was hoping
home
that
field advantage trick.
Yeah, you know.
All right.
I think
I didn't think the temperatures were too dissimilar when I got into both of them.
Yeah, I guess I was
Lukewarm,
thinking that I was just hoping for Bella. I mean, they didn't disappoint me.
No.
It was a good pie.
Yeah.
It was good, but I felt like TC Wheelers. I was really surprised at how, because I think I had them once like a few years ago, but this time like the cheese was nice and thick. It stayed there, which is big for me. Both were triangles, so you know whatever.
Yep.
But that's about it.
I did not give a heads up to any of the pizzerias that they were coming on the pod, so I mean, hey.
Yeah, I mean,
you brought it.
there we go.
Okay.
That just made me think of something real quick. I don't know if we still have them or not, but once upon a time, a long time ago, one of my kids did DoorDash, and I think we had a couple of heat bags, and I think I may still have them. So if I do,
Now you tell me.
yeah, but I can give it to you because you're always coming from a distance, right?
Yeah,
I give
yeah.
one. I think we had two. I would give you one, and if he wants to, you know, let me look.
Yeah.
I'll look at home.
Okay.
Remind me, please, because you know me, I forget. So remind me, and I'll look.
I'll remind you. So Mike's gonna deliver on the contacts, the interviews, the delivery bags.
Yeah, I gotta tell you this too. I thought about it again. I'm like, I asked this guy to come on for pizza, and I'm sure he will. But I graduated high school with a guy that owns a pizzeria, and
Not Wally's.
not Wally's.
Let's hear the name of this
Well,
place.
no, I don't, because you guys were talking about him yesterday, and you didn't like him. What's the pizzeria? You're like, eh.
That was a Kyle. That was to Kyle.
Yeah.
Didn't like it, in case you're wondering.
This was yesterday in the group
Well, we were
chat?
going back
Oh,
and forth
no.
trying to pick
Just
one.
me and you, or
no, the group,
Podcast
in the group.
drama.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Minios.
Hey, listen. Okay.
I really wanted to get videos too.
Listen, I was told to go there one day, and I went there while I was working, and I walked in, and I got a slice of pepperoni and a slice of something with banana pepper on it. I don't remember. But it came out, and the bottom was like toast. Like that crunch, and so I guess it maybe caught me. I will, like I've said many times, I'll try anything once, so we'll bring them back. I'm not saying no. I just, that time just was like, it was, I don't know, it just.
Well,
Minio's also has got my vote. I've had that a lot of times.
It's been a
and
long
that's
time
pretty
because it's
good.
not convenient where
Yeah,
it's at.
yeah.
You know, it's not convenient to go get it. But
On a Monday, Denny.
right. So
Yeah, we'll try one of the seat bags.
yeah,
Are you gonna be working next Tuesday, the day after
Yeah.
Kwanzaa?
Yeah,
Phone's off.
yeah. I don't, but
Okay.
You know.
All right. I just didn't know if that would work out where you were gonna. So
yeah,
you'll
no,
be
I'll
coming
be
from over here.
working. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, you were. We can come back to it later. We're stuck around the guy that owns the building next to Sherwin-Williams.
yeah.
Hint, hint. We could use a sponsor for chicken wings in the off season.
Well, I will tell you what, he's never shied away from sponsorships. So All I can do is ask him. All he can say is no, right?
Right. You've delivered so far. So.
Yeah.
I love that pretty much everyone here has to do fundraising for their kids for various travel sports. And we're just like, oh, man, we could use that fundraiser for the pod. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could. Start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
GoFundMe. All right, Clark Griswold.
Well, I will tell you, I really enjoyed both of these pizzas. I think it's 2 weeks in a row that we had two great buffalo pizzas, and it was a tough decision.
Yeah.
And to me, there were a couple things that set them apart. I thought they both had great cooks. I loved both the pepperoni. I thought they were very similar. Both great-looking pies. I thought the sauces were a bit different. I thought that the... look at the boxes. They both have great boxes. Both have their own names on the boxes, not just hot and delicious. The TC Wheelers was a little bit sweeter sauce, which I like. The Bella was a little bit less sweet, but still good. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Hey, your turn's coming up in 3 people.
Give it to yourself, Boston.
Wait your turn.
But one thing I will say, and it didn't really take off marks for me, but I noticed, and one thing that I usually like, so I like when the cheese goes all the way over the crust, holds the rest of the cheese to the pizza so that when you bite it, you don't pull all the cheese off. I thought that TC Wheelers was kind of a pinch job. You kind of had to hold on to it.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh.
Ho, ho, ho.
I'm preaching, and Blackout steps in.
Hey, Blackout, welcome to the show again. Grab a slice each.
Okay, all right.
Unless you already ate dinner.
I did, but I'll eat a little.
There's a pizza cutter in there. You can do a little small slice.
Half slice.
But anyway, I noticed the TC Wheelers doesn't go all the way to the crust and kind of gives you a little pull, which some people might take some points off for. But if I had to pick, I picked TC Wheelers as well. I like the taste overall better. I like the thickness of their cheese better. I like there was a little bit more of it. But Bella's still a great pizza. 2 weeks, really hard picks, but great pizzas. So sorry, TC Wheelers for me.
Sorry, Bellas. You picked TC Wheelers.
Yeah, I did pick TC Wheelers.
You just said sorry to TC Wheelers. You meant sorry, Bellas.
Well, I said sorry, TC Wheelers for me.
Punctuation. That's important.
Sean, you're being very critical of my analysis right now, and I don't like it.
Sounds like Zabil's podcast, Instagram. Okay, Mike. No struggles this week.
No. So I agree with you on something, and I disagree with you on something. One, I agree with you that everyone likes a good-looking pie. I'm not sure if we're talking about pizza still, but number one. Number two, I disagree with you that it was 2 weeks in a row because you all know what I thought of last week's pizzas. This week both of them were great. I liked them both. As I mentioned earlier, I grew up on Junction, and I thought TC Wheeler was a very close taste-wise, not the same amount of cheese as that, but I will go TC Wheeler on mine. I like them both. I'm not no negative on either side. I like the TC Wheeler a little better.
Okay.
Yeah, so I agree that both pizzas were actually really good. And I was waiting for one of them to kind of set itself apart from the other. TC Wheelers, that was a heavy piece, a heavy slice. Like, it was thick. When I pulled it off the plate, it was heavy. And when I bit into it, I was thinking to myself, this first bite chew is actually taking me some time to get through, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Really thick cheese. And I subconsciously noticed what Brendan said at the end. I was kind of just down to the last part of it. And the cheese definitely did separate itself from the crust. And it was the cheese just being so heavy actually was like basically coming off the remaining part of the slice. Wasn't a bad thing. But, I mean, that's just a whole thick piece of pizza slice, which I thought was great. The thing that separated for me, broke the tiebreaker, if you will, was that Bella's, which I thought was great. I mean, thinner slice, spicier pepperoni, in my opinion. I thought the underbelly of the pie, the bottom layer, wasn't cooked as much. I don't know if anybody else got that.
Yep, I agree.
I don't know if that was just my slice, but I mean, it wasn't enough for me to not finish it. But I think that made me lean more towards TC Wheelers. So yeah, that's where my vote is.
I thought the same thing about the Bella. I thought that it was undercooked on the bottom, but on the top it was overcooked.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, it wasn't awful, but it was
Yeah.
enough for me to look at the bottom. I don't know
Yeah.
if Mike, you noticed. I kind of pulled the slice up just to take a peek at it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it just
it was-
wasn't cooked as much.
it was definitely done, but it just wasn't
Right.
cooked. Yeah.
yeah,
done.
but still a very good, pie.
Yeah.
I'd order that for sure.
Yeah, I agree with the cheese too. The cheese I like to stay up. I think that because the cheese was so heavy, it didn't meet the crust all the way, but the cheese was so heavy, so it stayed where it was supposed to. Go ahead. Sorry to take up your time.
Wait a minute.
No,
I'm confused on something.
I yield my time.
The
back.
cheese to the crust, are we talking like, so am I looking at this when you bite and then the cheese actually pulls out from the crust? Okay. I've never thought, well, you're a pizza man.
You're learning stuff new with the
You are a
Zabils
pizza man.
podcast. You're really
That's a pizza man.
That was in, I think Professor Pizza's 101, I think actually is in there.
I have not taken that class. He charges
Clean
too
book.
much. He charges way too much for that class.
right. Like your taste in hockey, I'm going to have to disagree with all of the gentlemen so
Jesus.
far.
Always that one guy.
I'll be that guy, but legitimately, I thought here's the difference. The pepperonis were on par. The cheese was pretty similar for the most part. What separated it from me was the sauce. I'm gonna have to disagree with Brendan. I think Bella's was the sweeter of the sauce. I'm not sure if it was even close. Bella's had a sweet sauce. When Kyle said that TC Juniors was it Wheelers TC Wheelers was a $35 pizza. I thought that was a bit excessive.
Captain Value here for you. That's your new nickname, Captain Value.
Now, $35, for a typical Western New York pizza is a little outrageous. That being said, I thought that TC Wheeler's pizza justified the $35. It was thick. It was large.
All right.
You are not leaving. You can have a slice, and it can compete with 2 or 3 slices from any other place, in my opinion. That being said, the thickness of the crust with the cheese kind of blotted out the sauce, where I couldn't really taste the sauce as rich as I could with the Bella's. That's why I gave Bella's my vote. I think I can be seduced by a sweet sauce. I thought their sauce was sweeter. Bella's, I'll break the shutout streak. Bella's gets my vote.
All right.
So how much was the Bella's one just for
Bella's was
transparency?
approximately like $21 or something like that. Yeah. It's just not. You know what? Hold
that's
on.
in
Let
line.
me.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Somebody fill in while I do some fact checking.
Who's
$14
your buddy out in Albany? Is that Rob?
Rob? Yeah.
He's the
Domino's coupon.
right. He would be angry with us saying that was a good value for $35 for a large pizza.
Yeah, you could get 3 Domino's pizzas for that.
Okay, folks. To get my
the
facts
coupon.
straight, one large cheese pepperoni, $19.99 with tax, $21.75. So we're talking
$14 difference.
$14 difference.
Another pizza in some places.
I just think that looking at that pie, the thickness of it, like that's a man's pizza right there. Like I feel like it's expensive because there's a lot of stuff to
there are
it.
some women that probably would eat that.
Yeah, no, that too.
But it's like the hungry man of pizza. Of
Yes.
TV dinners, right?
Yeah, like you'd be
Yeah.
full on that.
And not to sidetrack, TC Wheeler's
We
has
sidetrack
some
all night
other
long.
like really good pizzas. One of them, the dill pickle pizza that they have.
Did
is
you hear us talking about
excellent.
that at the basketball game?
No.
Oh.
Oh yeah. But I've had it. That was the only.
I don't know if I
pizza
wanted
I've
to
had
use
from
her
them.
name or not, but the mom that was sitting in between us, she was talking about how she gets a really good pickle pizza from Macy's
Okay.
and a pickle pizza from what's the other place? I can't remember. I'll have to text her.
TC Wheeler's really good pickle pizza, and they do some different like seasonings on the crust too. I think you can get like a sesame seed or like a everything bagel seasoning on the crust too. Not to like further along the TC Wheeler.
They must be because when I was picking it up, they must be a pretty well-known wing joint as well. They had raspberry flavored wings. They had signs up for all different type chicken wing sauce, which I thought was kind of cool. The other thing I want to plug real quick: dill pickle vodka. Anybody? Try it.
No, but sign me up.
Try it. We got it as a Christmas present at a party we were at last week, and we were doing some shots of it. Fantastic.
Shots.
No,
So it's like more of like a straight shot.
Yeah,
vodka,
yeah,
or-
yeah. I mean, I don't know what you would mix it with. I mean, I'm sure
It's like
there's
Bloody
a dr-
Marys.
Yeah, I was
maybe.
gonna say I'm
Could
sure
be
there's a
good one.
drink
Yeah.
there for it, but we were just doing shots of it. And it's pickles with just vodka, a hint of vodka. It was really good actually. I'm not a shot guy.
Pickleback shot, man. Pickleback shot's where it's at.
You know what he's talking about? All right, get that man
obviously.
a mic. Get that guy a mic. All right, let's give a round welcome to Blackout, his third week in a row. The man, the myth, the legend.
going on, guys?
All right. So you want to talk about? Yeah, let's talk about your pizza first, and then we'll
Okay,
end
yeah,
the
yeah.
segment.
Well, I agree with what you guys are saying. TC Wheelers went really hard here. They're extra thick cheese. They got a lot of. It seems like every inch was covered by cup and char pepperonis, so I can see why it's more expensive. My only knock on it was a little too bready. I think they should have cut down a little tiny bit on the bread.
That's the first time we've heard bready.
Yeah. I like the sauce, though.
I think that's the
sauce
first time anyone's heard bready.
They had the right amount of sauce. They need a tiny bit less bread.
Okay.
Bella's, I like the flavor. Bella's was solid. Just a little, I guess, just overall, just a small step down. A little thin. See, I think TC Wheelers, if they had the thickness of Bella's, would be perfect.
Ooh.
But I will.
Probably wouldn't charge
yeah.
$35.
Yeah, I know. That price point is kind of pissing me
We're all
off,
about the
too.
value. Yeah.
But I got to go with TC Wheelers slightly.
Okay, so if I've done my maths right, Sean, it's been TC Wheeler all the way except for you. Okay. So before I go, besides Dennis being a Bella native, has anyone had either of these two recently often enough to have a bias?
No.
Okay. Blackout? No? Okay. I've had Bella before. I get it up. What?
I was gonna say, Kyle, what's your take?
Yo, easy. Okay.
Sean is all over everyone tonight.
I like
don't
it.
know.
I like the tenacity. I like the tenacity.
Hey, just so you know, it's 3-0 Minnesota already
Who are they playing?
against Boston.
Being a Bruins fan, you don't even know what your guys are playing.
Minnesota is at Boston, and Minnesota's winning 3-0.
I thought you were talking about the Monday Night Football game, but it's too early.
Hey,
yet.
There it is right there.
Hey, are you doubled up
Kyle.
tonight?
Kyle.
No? Okay.
The game hasn't started yet. I'm just busting them.
Nice.
For the record, I was on point. They play tomorrow.
night. It's tomorrow.
I'm like,
night.
what the hell's he
just
talking about? Jesus, I've been gone all day. 3-0? They just had a practice.
No, they don't start till tomorrow at 7.
Yes. Well, weird, not to cut Kyle off, but they've got a weird, like, home against Minnesota in a different conference. They play Minnesota home, Winnipeg, then Minnesota again all in 1 week. Very, very rare that it happens within conference. But, Kyle, your pizza take.
Okay. I've had Bella before. When I delivered down in Hamburg, Boston, Colden, I always kind of swing by. I haven't had Bella in a while. I'm sorry to everyone over there. I haven't been there in a while. It was one of my favorite slices on the road. I had TC Wheelers, but it's been many moons, so I kind of forgot what it tastes like. Okay, so both had great cup and char. Both had plenty of cheese. Sauces were very good. This, in my opinion, probably was the closest neck and neck pick. We had what was it last week? Was it last week? Who did we have last week? Last week we had Fat Man and Pesci, and the Fat Man was very similar thickness to a TC Wheeler. So if you're listening out there and you've had Fat Man, close your eyes. This is what we're talking about. Neither sauce was as sweet as Fat Man.
Yeah.
What?
Hopefully they're not driving while they're listening.
Yes. Yeah, keep those eyes open. Down road. Okay, so the Fat Man last week I think was overcooked for how thick it was. TC Wheeler I think nailed the cook on how thick it was. Any thicker would have been too much. I did enjoy it. Neither sauce was super sweet like the Fat Man, which, you know, you're Sean. Yep. You're the super sweet. These were very good sauces. Very close. Crust, very similar. Didn't have a great crunch, but there was enough there to separate the slice from the edge. I'm going to go, as much as I love Bella's, I'm going to go with TC Wheeler tonight.
Wow.
It was good. It was good. A heavy, thick, like one slice and you're done. Like, you know, I don't think, Chris, can you go back for another one or are you full?
I could not eat another one right now, actually.
Last week, folks, he had 2 of Fat Man's, right?
I think I went back for a second of Fat Man's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't finish my first one.
He couldn't eat one, I ate 2.
Yeah.
And let's just be that I can eat another one. I just couldn't eat another one.
No, yeah. So, we're going to mark that down on the grid here. TC Wheel. Oh, it's already there. Okay.
Once again, it hurts me that Bella didn't do well here. But
I
I don't think it was awful. Like,
Right.
it just
Yeah,
was
it
in
was
second
good.
place. Yeah.
It was just, it's probably my favorite pizza, and even I picked TC Wheeler. So
Like we've said before, it's not like a winner loser. It's more of a review, and it's easier to nitpick pizzas when you have something else to compare the other one to, because like we have one pizza here, or if you had Abbott the other day, right? You had Abbott, Dennis?
yeah.
Okay, so you're eating the Abbott, and you're like, huh? It's just you can only taste what you have
Yeah.
nothing to compare to, and that's why I think this two pizzas at the same time helps you nitpick one
Yeah,
over
you're right.
another, and it just is a discussion on what you like more about a pizza. And we all know Sean's the super sweet guy,
Right. and
just like his soul.
I think a night like tonight with these two is a good problem to have. They're
Oh,
two
yeah.
good pizzas.
Fantastic
Which one do you
pizzas.
pick? You know?
We're gonna let you know if the pizza absolutely sucks,
Yeah.
and we haven't.
yeah,
Had
they're
that-
they're both
yeah,
Had
good.
Oh, no,
Domino's.
no,
We've
yeah,
had
we-
Domino's thin crust that sucked.
We're gonna give them a. We're gonna give them a rebound.
That wasn't me this time.
I think we should do the Domino's hand tossed versus Crosby. I don't know if that's fair or not. But
Crosby will
I don't
crush,
know.
I think.
I think you got to go chain versus chain. I think you got to go maybe like a Pizza Hut versus Domino's.
If you can get that Pizza Hut, maybe do a Pizza Hut pan versus a Domino's hand.
because I don't think
where
they're in the
is
same
Pizza
division.
Hut?
There's one on
Tonawanda,
Trans.
4
there's
minutes
only
from
one,
here.
right?
Oh, is there one in Tonawanda now?
Tonawanda,
It's takeout
right on
only.
Delaware,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, they're all
right behind
takeout
Tops
only now.
on
Yeah.
Delaware and Sheridan.
Oh,
There's a
no
line out
kidding.
the
It
door all
was
the
the
time.
only one in Western New
Whoa,
York.
like behind
Yeah.
the M&T Bank.
There is another one
It's
now.
right
or
next
something?
door to that one.
Yeah.
It's in that plaza.
Oh, right where Rachel's is now.
Yep.
There's
Nope,
one at
it's
French
just
and
it's
Transit,
across the street
too.
from there. But yes, same side.
All right, let's do it.
I didn't think there was any Pizza Huts.
French and Transit just opened.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
open.
Th- this
within
one's
the past
been-
month.
Oh, okay.
This one's been open for
Blackout. If you want to
about
get a hot
months.
mic, you're just gonna have to fight.
Every
Sean
time I'm
for
there,
it.
there's a line out the
Or
door.
you can take
People love Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah. Well, it's just important to point out that just because you pick one over another one, just doesn't mean you don't like it, or that you wouldn't get it again, or you don't get it all the time, and still like it. But
There's no winners and
it's just
losers here,
comparisons.
folks.
Absolutely.
It's just a discussion, and so don't feel sad if we didn't
Yeah, no hurt feelings.
unanimously pick you.
Right.
Because I love Bell. That's a good slice. I liked how it was soft, but I don't know. If you,
You
wanna
guys
go
were
fat-
seduced
if
by the
you wanted-
size.
if you
Stop.
it's all about the size.
It's all about you guys were sad. I mean, it was a big pizza. Don't get me wrong. Like that one slice might have been the biggest, considering deep dish Chicago
So
style.
something else I have to point out. $35 TC Wheeler is a large 18-inch. The Bella is a 16. So I think I got 2 extra slices in that $35. So if we have a mathematician here, if you want to do the slice to cost ratio, it might be about the same. I don't know. Probably
Cost per
not.
square inch or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. So, all right.
You round up for that, right?
Based on the
IR squared, something
based
like
on
that,
the
too,
intro
IR.
you heard tonight, Bills, what a freaking game! I did not expect it.
Yeah, baby.
Do you want the heater near you?
No, I'm good.
You sure? Because these guys probably have swamp ass. You want to switch?
No, I'm getting psyched for the Bills.
So you got to get a jacket on? Oh, okay. All right. All right. I liked everything I saw. I don't think there's anything that I can nitpick from this game. Maybe one thing, but more points.
What's your one thing that you could nitpick?
More points. More points. I don't know. Josh Allen throwing over 100 yards.
Yeah, I agree. The game, I didn't know how to react after the game because we haven't had one of these where you weren't nervous about winning or losing. They did everything that you wanted to see, so it's kind of weird. Usually, even if we win, we just barely. If we barely win, we should have done something better. The refs suck. Something happened, but this game was pretty on par. So the one nitpicky thing that I would have to say is I wish we'd have saw more digs. We obviously didn't need it, the game script, all that stuff, but it would be good to see him get back over 100 yards.
Did anyone see where Josh got the game ball because he broke the record? Yeah. Right. Did you hear what he said when they gave him the ball?
He
About
felt
the
like
picks?
No. That was it. That was in the press conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, I didn't throw an interception. I didn't throw an interception. That's what he said.
That's funny because he did have 9 games in a row and broke it.
Yeah. Yeah. But his comment in the press conference was pretty cool. That was pretty funny.
And Kyle Allen had 9 minutes of playing time.
Yeah.
Plus the
MVP.
critical play where he returned the calling sheet to Josh Allen. He had a really good game, Kyle Allen. I want to pump his tires because he was in. He got positive yards instead of negative yards when he takes a knee. He was just on point with running the plays out to Allen in the middle of a drive.
Do we have a quarterback controversy?
I think we do. Kyle Allen, you know what? Your number one fan. I was getting text messages from people who listen to the podcast. They're like, your guy's in. I'm like, that's right, Kyle Allen.
Hey, you know you've made it if you're getting texts from fans about Kyle Allen. Is that the most game time he's seen in a game this year? Yeah. Excellent.
Well, and to Dennis's point, it was really nice to have a game where you weren't having a heart attack in the last 5 minutes, seeing if they're going to blow it or if they're going to hold on to a lead or whatever. And I think it's been since the Miami game where I felt like that, where the game was just so in hand and they just looked so unbeatable. You had no worries about what they were going to do. And my favorite part of this game was that it was the perfect game for Sean McDermott to look competent. I mean, he did put together a good defense, I'll say that, but also he didn't have to make any big decisions that he could be criticized on.
Right.
It didn't really matter what he did at the end of the half. They looked great the whole half. It didn't matter what he did at the end of the game. They looked fine. So just keep running the ball. He didn't do anything stupid to ruin it, and the team made his day easier.
I think Dallas, from their perspective, coming off the stretch that they were in, the heater that they were on with 5 in a row, the competition they played, the fact that they were at home for 4 or 5 of those games, looking back now, hindsight is 2020, I think that they were due for the exact type game they played right there. It didn't take much to push them around, and once they were down, they looked completely disinterested in that game as the game went on. Credit to the Bills. I mean, the Bills set the tone instantly with that first drive with that, tush push of 12 yards where Cook wouldn't go down, and all the linemen jumped in, and the rest didn't blow at that. I thought the tone was set on that first series right there, where that this is how the game's going to be. So the message at some point in the locker room must have been from McDermott or whatever that we're going to try and smack these guys in the mouth. And I think it showed with everything they did throughout the game.
Yeah, the defense just looked like they were not going to put up with anything, and they were just going to be smacking them, bullying them all over the field. We talked about it a little bit, the 2 personal fouls on the headshots to Prescott, thank you, when he was kind of sliding. It's bad penalties to take, but early on in that first quarter when you're setting the tone, not the worst time to take them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree across the board. This was, I think we were cautiously optimistic considering Dallas, the heater they were on, their schedule. I kind of called them a red herring because they're almost like the NFC version of Miami. And I don't want to put down either team, but they have a reputation where both teams haven't really beat up on any significant opponents. The Eagles maybe with Dallas. Miami still hasn't beaten a playoff team. So the bottom line was the Bills checked off every single box the ZA Bills podcast has been calling for. They ran the ball. They stuck with it. Josh did not have to do it all. They stuck with the run. They did not take stupid penalties. A lot of them. Yeah, a couple of the ones, I don't, listen, in hindsight, on the Prescott ones, they weren't that bad at all. No interceptions from Josh. They got out to a lead, and they defended that lead. And, oh, my God, time management. They realized the run game was fantastic, and they stuck with it.
I'd like to say something really quick that we've already heard it first tonight, Brady. So I think this might be a podcast first. Hats off to the offensive line. What a game they had.
Dan Dawkins, best game I've ever seen him play.
It's at least been a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what Cook did, but Cook doesn't do that without the offensive line. And you saw the one touchdown. I don't remember if it was him or Murray's, whatever. But Dawkins, it was when he got him down
25 yards downfield.
Yeah.
It was like from the movie The Blind Side,
Yes,
where you see
exactly.
that one scene.
Exactly.
He hurt the guy. Not that you want anyone to get hurt, but oh my, you're right. It was the Snowman's coming out party.
Snowman played pissed.
He had a great game.
He plays great when he's pissed.
When he
Scott,
pancaked
right?
that dude, I looked at my wife and I go, nobody wants to be under that guy, man. Just when that guy lands on you, it's not going to feel good.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Herb. Yes, timeout. Blackout was at the game. Let's hear about that first. Pre tailgate, post tailgate. Let's hear all about it.
Tailgate was great. We got there a little late. We got there like 11:30. So we had
4:30.
yeah. went out the night before, so it took a little time to get going, but we got it going. It was rainy at the tailgate, so it wasn't as rowdy as your typical tailgate, but it was a very solid effort by everybody. The game started. Needed a nap after the tailgate, and the Bills obliged. They made it easy, man. I didn't have to stay awake for that one. We just took care of business right from the start.
So you can fall asleep anywhere?
Yeah, wherever need to. But,
All right.
yeah, I mean, we're so fucking back. Chris called it at the last podcast. He said we were going to get some calls. We got some calls. We got some crucial calls, and some, I mean, they were penalties, that roughing the punter penalty, that was, we'll take it. It was lucky too, because he just missed blocking that. But yeah, we got what we needed to, and we were gonna whoop them even without the good calls.
I
so
thought a quarterback
it's
was
great.
going to die. The how hard they were coming at Dak on the sliding I thought that guy was going to get.
It was playoff football. Josh called out the Bills fans. He wanted them to be a factor. You're telling us here at the Zod Bills Nation, you were able to sleep because we could hear from the TV. We could hear how loud the fan base was. You're telling me you fell asleep.
Wow. A couple quick naps, it's nothing.
Micro nap.
I caught
Micro
the
sleep.
important parts, yeah. I think I took a nap once Kyle Allen went in there,
Did you see all the big plays?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
On the highlights when I got
didn't
home.
know if it was like Mike's story when he went to a Pearl Jam concert and the girl in front of him was passed out the entire game.
Oh, yeah. No, not that bad. Actually,
Okay.
we saw a guy at the tailgate that, I forgot about this story. We had there was an ambulance called. He was the most drunk I've ever seen any human of all time.
Wow.
Oh,
Is that Blackout Senior?
shout out to that guy. Hopefully he's fine. Hopefully he's doing better today.
Live.
Herb, I was getting rumors that there was a lot of Cowboys fans there. True?
There were a lot of Cowboys fans, and Cowboys fans are freaking cocky. They really do think they're America's team, and they're just wrong. And there's a reason people hate Cowboys fans.
They're kind of like Yankee fans, if you ask
Yeah,
me. You just
agreed.
kind of went with them because they were a winning team, back in the 90s or something like that.
Yep. You could
Can we
tell
go
there are
to-
a lot of Cowboys
They are
fans.
the Yankees
from
fans are the
Buffalo,
worst.
Too, yeah.
I can tell you that they're terrible.
Can we go back
Agreed.
to that block
Yeah.
punt? I don't know if you were going to bring that up eventually as a point, but that almost
I'm a
block punt.
fantastic analyst.
Oh my god. That almost block punt. I mean, you talk about a game of inches. All he has to do is get a piece of the ball, and that roughing the kicker doesn't happen.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the bigger thing there for me is that the Bills' special teams all year has kind of been flirting with disaster, and that was really, really, really close to being a game-changing thing early on. If it's just an arm here or an arm there, right? And so that would be you guys were talking about nitpicking. That would be my one concern moving forward is that special teams, I wonder, they don't seem as buttoned up as they've been in past years under McDermott. And I wonder if that comes back to bite the Bills in one of these games moving forward. Hopefully not, but that was close.
See, I thought that was kind of the Dudzik backbreaker play of the game right there, because I felt like the momentum kind of shifted there. So obviously we got the call, and that's great. But I think we went down and scored a touchdown on the ensuing drive. So I think that kind of broke it open. I think that kind of opened the floodgates in a way.
You've been right so much. I hope you're wrong on that one, because that could be devastating. 12 men on that kind of thing.
And I think Dallas took definitely two, if not three, 15-yard penalties that led to Buffalo Bills touchdowns. I mean, they took those penalties, whether they were justified or not, they really kind of put Dallas away early because they prolonged Bills' drives, and then they related 21 points right there with those 15-yard penalties.
Yeah, and you hate to nitpick like we're saying, but just in that same light, I was thinking, what would this game look like if that punt was blocked and they hit that deep Cooks play right over the middle where he definitely has the guy beat and then Dak just overthrows him. I mean, that's a touchdown all day. Like if those two plays go their way rather than ours, this might be a different game. But
Hey, let me
they
interrupt.
didn't make
Oh,
it
sorry.
happen.
Professor Pizza Jr. Reported in that he liked Bella better than T.C. Wheeler. We're waiting on Professor Pizza to give his chime in. All right, sorry, continue.
I still think though that the Bills' game plan in that game, even though those plays could have gone one way or the other, I felt. Do we got a breaking news here for another Bella vote?
Another Bella vote.
Breaking news.
Oh
source.
boy. Big time.
Big time.
Whoa.
Wow.
I heard a big time there, Bella.
endorsement.
Big
All right.
time.
I told
Excellent
back
taste.
to my man comment right there that may have been too much. That TC Wheeler for some. Yeah,
woman.
yeah.
The Matezik family
my
is tipping
kids.
the
Yeah.
scales.
They don't like the. My family doesn't like the big pizza.
Just back to that though
poor
about the
child.
plays going.
Thanks for keeping us straight.
Yeah,
Steer the ship.
it's good. I can see this getting off the rails real quick. Here we go. I do this for a living. Back on the rails here, people. So no, but those plays going either way. I just felt that the Bills' game plan in that game, there could have been a score early on for Philadelphia. I just don't know if for the Cowboys rather. I just don't know if the Cowboys' plan, motivation, if that was going to carry them through 4 quarters of football yesterday. I mean, look what the Bills did without Allen having to do anything. I just don't. There could have been a play here or there that mattered, but I think the Bills were pretty well jazzed up to win that game.
Who texted? Was it somebody in the group that said, if you told me that Josh Allen was going to throw for less than 100 yards and Cook was going to rush or have 200 plus yards from total from scrimmage, and the Bills would win by that many points, you'd be like, no fucking way, no way. I was going to give you credit, Mike.
That's
crazy.
That's a lot of credit though to McDermott. I mean, that's the number 1 offense in football, and it's not even close. I mean, they've been
You're back on the
track
McDermott
meet-
train, huh?
Well, hold on. Not yet. He didn't have to make. Brendan
Right.
said it. He did not have to make decisions.
not.
And so, whatever. But for him to slow that offense down and the way the Bills did it, no one's done that all year to them. I mean, that's kudos to him, man, for pulling that off. With the guy, I mean, if we would have said to you, Daquan Jones, Milano, Trey White, who else was out? Hyde being out. All those guys being out, and he still does that against that team. That's
I did
crazy.
not expect that type of defense to show up.
Yeah,
That
I was
fantastic.
surprised. I thought we dictated. I always talk about dictation here. We always dictated the play in that game. I felt like right from the start.
That's what we need out of McDermott is that great defensive scheme game that just the other offense just does nothing all day. Like we need more of those. That's what McDermott is here to do, and not make last minute decisions. That's it's defensive scheme. That's why we have him here.
And you talked about the dictating the way the Bills wanted to play that game. It makes me wonder about the Cowboys because the Cowboys have been so scripted all year with how they were winning these games. They got ahead early. They blitzed teams on the scoreboard and then allowed Micah Parsons and all those guys to pin their ears back, and then they dictated. They did it almost in every game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are the Cowboys prepared to go off script, and is Dak going to be bringing them back? They haven't had to do that once this year, and they couldn't do it yesterday. So that's the question I have about the Cowboys moving forward.
Yeah, and I think that's been an issue with the Bills too this season is that they have not played well from behind this season. So getting up early on these teams this week and last week has proven to really be the winning formula for them, that they got to score in that first half. We said it to wit's end earlier in the year. When these guys are not scoring, I mean, think about the first halves that we were talking about in earlier podcasts where they weren't scoring anything or they were scoring 3 points like right before halftime. It's like this team does not do well when they do not score in the first half. I mean, it's beautiful to be ahead, but they have to score. They have to put points on the board in the first half. So I also think a couple unsung heroes of this game, which maybe they're not unsung, but I thought in my mind I just noticed them a lot more. So I thought Rapp was huge in this game. I thought that he played a really good game. Bernard is always big, but he really showed up again this week when I haven't really noticed him too much in weeks past, but he showed up again, just kind of proving that he is, a great Milano 2.0. But then Ty Johnson also, I thought, in the running back position. I know that Cook is getting all the glory from everyone all over the place, but Ty Johnson played an excellent game. I thought that I think that he probably, it's probably not why, but in my mind, it's one of Dorsey's biggest failures is not getting that guy on the field, because it wasn't until Brady came in that we even knew who that guy was, and he had been on the team for a month. and nobody even knew his name. And it's like, who's this guy? And this guy, he's a beast. I think so. I don't think he's as good as Cook, but he's definitely better than like a Murray or anybody else besides Cook that we have in the backfield.
Who was the other back that got hurt to bring Johnson in?
Damian Harris.
Yeah. So if he didn't get
Which, who
hurt, you may
cares?
not have seen him, right?
Right. Just before the Bills started, I think we were watching an overtime version of Houston, and I think it was Zach Moss broke a touchdown and won the game for him. And I immediately said, God, I wish we had it. Oh, it was Devin Singletary. You're right. I don't know why it was
That guy's been having good games.
He had a great game, won the game for the Texans, and I'm like, geez,
Florida Atlantic alumni.
right?
Singletary.
Wish we had a run game like that, and less than 10 minutes later, the Bills turned it up. I mean, I don't think it's too much of a stretch. I mean, I was seeing glimpses of Barry Sanders with Cook, being able to kind of worm his way in the hole, bounce it out to the outside.
Barry Sanders.
I'm just saying. I haven't seen that sort of explosive running because for the last 10, 15 years, we've moved away from that. It's been a receiver, quarterback type. But the way he was bouncing out plays and making stuff happen and going to the outside, beating players to the corner.
His vision for the cutback was incredible.
I'm telling you.
He looked better than I seen Thurman Thomas look at times.
Well, and that was the
He
thing.
is fantastic.
And that was the first time since 1991 Thurman Thomas.
Okay, what was the stat?
He was over 270 yards both running and catching for the first time
So
since
total scrimmage
I
yardage,
believe
he-
so.
No, it
That's-
wasn't that high. It was 179 rushing and 45 receiving.
No, was it?
No, I thought it was
more than
270
45?
total.
Was it 270?
Yeah, I think it was 270
okay.
total.
Okay.
But I think it was 220 running.
It was one. No, he didn't break 200 running.
No, that was another
It was
stat.
179 running. The reason I know that is because I'm like, he needs 21 more yards, and then they didn't play in the rest of the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that was the first time they had it over 200 or I don't know what it was.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
scrimmage yards.
speaking of
Thurman
that, did you guys
Thomas.
hear the stat that Dallas, up to this game, has not allowed a single 100-yard rusher, and then they gave up 100 in the first half to Cook?
I heard that from you. Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah, that's a great stat.
That's the only time I heard that, though.
Great.
Oh,
So props to you.
oh. I am.
That nose tackle, Rankins, is that his name for the Cowboys? That nose tackle being out was a big loss for them.
I'll take anything.
Yeah, no, because the Bills went right at that hole.
Well, and then they lost that Martin who went after
Yeah.
Rapp after the hit on Prescott, and then he got nailed in the thigh or something, and he was out for the rest of the game, which you hate to see these guys get hurt. But one of the things I was coming out of this game really happy about, which I was, we saw the news about Phillips unfortunately having to undergo that surgery and maybe being out for a few weeks. Besides that, the Bills really came out unscathed out of this game, which was, exactly, knock on wood. It was great to see. But after just a hard-hitting game like that, to come out with no huge injuries, I thought that was
And you get to play the
gigantic.
backups for
Yeah.
a full quarter, pretty much. Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that they kept Prescott and all their number ones in there for that drive where they scored the touchdown. We're playing third stringers, and I'm like, if Prescott gets hurt here, that's on the Cowboys, and their postseason is over.
Yeah, I mean, I get the whole.
Yeah.
I get the whole momentum for the next game and trying to make it right. When I was watching it happen, I thought to myself, are they doing this for fantasy points for somebody? What was the purpose of CeeDee Lamb and him?
I was glad CeeDee Lamb scored.
Yeah, no, for
Yeah,
sure.
me
I'm
too.
sure people
Point,
benefited from that.
that's
But I'm with Brendan on that. Had he gone down with an injury, that McCarthy might lose his job over that decision. You're down 31-3 with 6 minutes, 5 minutes left. What's the point?
I want to go back to Cook for a second. I hope he went to Dr. Bob because his back's got to be sore from carrying the team.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Needs to go see him pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Dr. Chiropractor is the official chiropractor of Zabil's podcast, also the proud sponsor of the Zabil's Pizzas.
Thanks, Dr. Bob.
You were talking about the third stringers were in on that drive. Did you see who was in with the third stringers? Von Miller.
Hamlin.
He needs the
Von
reps.
Miller was out there with Hamlin. Yeah, exactly.
He
Yeah,
did.
oh,
He was so close to getting another tackle on the
Fingertips
season
away,
this
as
week.
usual.
Dennis, horseshoes and hand grenades.
So, do you think they kept him out because they honestly didn't need him? And
Well, they kept
or
him in.
because the turf could have been more slippery because of the rain, and if he's not wearing the knee brace?
Well, he was in late.
Well, he
though,
was
that's
in.
What we're
They
saying.
kept him in.
He stayed in.
Yeah.
Real late. Yeah, he was getting reps.
Okay, what's the idea behind that then?
So here's what I think with him. The injury, set that aside, as hard as that is. I think at this point of his career, that's probably what we're going to get with him. I don't know if he's at game record status anymore, and obviously bring the injury back in. That's a big part of it. But I feel like there's going to be a play that you remember. Like, it's going to be that time he gets home on Tua, or he did it last year against the Chiefs with Mahomes, and that was what sealed the game. I think he threw an interception to Taron Johnson at the end of the game with the Chiefs last year. I think that's what you're going to get out of him moving forward. I just don't know if he's going to be a 60-minute game wrecker anymore at this point, and you're just hoping he gets in and strip sack or something if they get in the playoffs from Von. I think that's the best case scenario for him.
He hasn't taken large leaps, but I think he's progressing nicely. You know, it was, where's Von? Where's Von? It was, okay, Von's noticeable. It was, okay, Von almost got a sack. I think before the season's out, he takes another step. I think I'm going to say he does return because we saw it with White. It took him a good 6-7 months after that surgery to return to what he was prior to that New Orleans game.
6-7 months of playing.
I know.
When he came back.
I know. I think Von's got it into him the next 3-4. If they get in the playoffs, I think he could be the game changer he once was. I think the reps are going to help him get there.
I'm going to disagree. I think this is his last season.
You also went with T.C. Wheeler, too. I mean, Bella's all the way.
Keep the pizza out of this.
Fantastic.
I just think if he doesn't get a sack by the end of the year, my crystal ball that I borrowed from Chris is he's not going to get any sacks this year, and they're going to look back, and I think they're going to let him go.
Watch him have 3 against the Chargers.
Prove me wrong.
Say it
Josh
again,
heard me
Kyle.
on the podcast. I said, prove me wrong, and James Cook said, I'll prove him wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, these next 2 weeks are the time to get the sacks in.
Right.
Yeah, no
well, especially
shit.
if Phillips is out. We're playing. I don't want to say it because I'm going to jinx us, but we're playing offenses that are not good. But we lost to one of them already this year.
Yeah.
I said this before on the podcast, so I do disagree with you that I think the injury had everything to do with it because prior to that injury, he had 10 sacks or whatever it was. He had a crazy amount of sacks until that Thanksgiving game. So, but I think the injury set him back. And when you're that age in this game, the recovery time and the recovery, can you get back to 100%? I don't know that he can. So I think the injury is what really did do him in. I disagree with you. I don't think he's going to be gone after this year because I think his contract is too big. I think he has too much to give up. I think it's too much. But he may be here on a massive deal as a second stringer. I mean, that might be the case.
Let's
talk about value again.
Yeah.
They're not going to get value.
They're not. I mean, that he's already shown that this year at least. But I also agree with Sean that I don't think he's back fully to where he's going to be yet. I think he has some more to come back, and the timing can't be more perfect if he can get rolling. Even rolling, I don't want to say I don't want to put a percentage on it, but more than he's doing now, but not where he was before in time for the playoffs. You never know. You never know. And how deep do we go into playoffs? Does Milano
I think
come back,
if we can
an
play
impact in the playoffs.
If we play another week like we just did, and they restore the faith that I have, they're peaking at the absolute best time.
I said
it. It makes me sad that this team couldn't have done this 6 weeks ago and could have been steamrolling and been. What are we now? 8-6.
Right.
So
At least
we
get
could
2
have
of those
been
wins that were winnable.
10
Yeah.
and 10
look
4,
where you'd be.
12
Look
and
where
2.
you'd be.
You know what, though? They were talking about this on the radio today, that if the Bills, let's say they went out, very possible. I mean, they could be easily 10-6 in 2 weeks because of the teams that they're playing, right? And let's say they pull out a game against Miami. 11-6 is kind of, however they got there, doesn't matter. That's kind of where most people had them with this schedule that they were playing against.
Yeah.
And the NFL, 17 games, it's such a roller coaster. It's 4 seasons in one. And I think those injuries in the middle of the season, it took them 4 or 5 weeks to rebound from the fact that they lost those leaders, and I mean, here we are, 8-6, and you got 2 teams coming up you should beat. Now you're 10-6. Last year they were 13-3. I think they coasted the remaining way, and they had no mojo going into the playoffs. And look what happened with Cincinnati. This year's different. They face the adversity. Now they're starting to, right time of year to start getting hot.
That's
Yeah.
what we've always said. Get hot, healthy towards January. And here we
Must
go.
win games all the way since
Right.
Kansas City. I mean, that's a great way to go into the playoffs.
I mean, look what they've done
You're
the last
playing
3
playoff
weeks.
games every week, pretty much.
Yeah, you're really talking wish they had that Philadelphia win back. 61-yard field goal separates them from beating
Yep.
the Eagles in Philly, Kansas City, and then destroying the best team in the league. That's where the
Right.
Bills are at right now.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks that and I mean, we've talked about this a few times, but it kind of sucks that every week has to be a playoff game for you from this point out. Even if you're playing bad teams, you can't relax on any single week.
But doesn't that make them better, though, do you think?
I don't know.
Hungry?
I mean, does it make them
What
better?
does he say?
And,
Hungry and humble.
yeah, who cares what he says? But
Trust the process.
does it make you hungry and humble and playoff ready, or does it make you tired going into the playoffs because you've been playing playoff football for the last 5 weeks of the season when it wasn't necessary? I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is to that. I guess I'm interested in what you guys have to say about that.
the
I
prior
kind
5
of
weeks,
am nervous.
They barely play with effort, so now
Well,
they're primed.
I don't know. We had a lot of injuries, so I think they were trying, but I think they were trying the wrong way. But these guys are professionals. Can they get up for the playoffs? It didn't seem like they did last year. So it makes me wonder, are they going to have no gas left if they actually can pull off this run and get into the playoffs?
We're not talking about a 2-month grind, though. We're not talking about 25, 26, whether it's a World Series, whether it's the NHL, where your playoffs can be a legitimate physical grind. You're playing 3, maybe 4 games, tops, on top of the schedule we've already had. So I don't know if that endurance is as much of a factor in football. What the Bills have proven is that going in already comfortable has not worked. So I'm open to seeing them claw their way into the playoffs to see a possible different outcome this year, if they get in. Yeah, I think we're all feeling really good about their chances of getting in, possibly winning a division. But I'm willing to let them go. Let them actually have to, I think Chris said it, bring it up, claw their way into the playoffs, and maybe that will propel them further than they've ever gone with Josh Allen.
I was thinking the same thing you just said. Perfect.
Yeah, we'd have to go back and look, but I would guess if you look at the last 10 Super Bowl winners, I would bet that none of them finished the season 2-3 and then got hot in the wild card round. I think I'm thinking back to Eli Manning in that season. The Giants won one of their Super Bowls with Eli. They did something similar to what the Bills are doing. They kind of limped along, and then they got a victory. I think actually in Buffalo. I was at that game with Eli Manning, and they then went and rattled off 9 in a row. So it's certainly doable. And I agree. The Bills are battle tested. They've been here before. This is not like a new team. They know they've been in playoff games. They've been on the road in big playoff games. So they know what it takes. And there's kind of that element still sitting out there that this team's got a bad taste in their mouth over the last couple of years. We didn't even think they were going to make the playoffs, and they may not make it. But if they do, here we are again in the playoffs, and they've got some questions to answer about that. And this is the same core group of guys. So now it's like, how many more chances are they going to get at it? So they got that going for them too. You're going to get a Houston Texans team in there that's never been in there before, and it'll be fun. But good luck. I mean, good luck going on a run. You got to be tested in playoff games. So I don't know. That's where I'm at.
Right, and to that point too, this, playoff window that we have, or Super Bowl window that you can say we have, this league has been so weird, this year and last year, and even the year before that, where it's any team can win any given week. We've kind of been doing at least I have been, a lot of scoreboard watching over the last couple of weeks. Who's going to help us out this week? I feel like last week we got a lot of help where a lot of teams in front of us lost, where this week I was like, okay, can the same thing happen this week? And I'm watching the games. The Vikings, the Titans, the Bears, they're all helping us. They all have big leads on guys that we need to lose, and they all blew it. And I can tell you, I watched a lot of bad backup quarterbacks this weekend. Oh, my God. God, thank you so much for giving us Josh Allen, and maybe even Kyle Allen to that point. But, man, there are some bad quarterbacks leading these teams out there right now. And even if we don't make the playoffs, at least we have Josh Allen.
A few weeks back, we had said that I think our best road to the playoffs at that time was to win the division. Now it's not necessarily. If we win out, even if Miami wins a game or two, not against us, obviously, I think our chances are still in like the 90%, something like that. However, we play on paper 2 bad teams the next 2 weeks. So if we take care of what we need to take care of, and then Miami plays Dallas and Baltimore.
Well, Dallas, they're going to want to win.
Yep.
They're going to want to win now.
And they potentially could lose those 2 games. Yeah. We go in with the same record to that last game of the year for the division in Miami. Even though we're up a half a game, it doesn't matter if they win. You know what I mean? So we go because right now they are 10-6 and we are 8-6, right? So by that point, they would be. Am I doing this right?
We'll be 10. We'll both be
10-4 right now.
10-4. I'm sorry, they're 10-4.
We'll be 10-6.
So we'd both be 10-6 going into that last game for the division.
It's put up and shut up time for Miami. They're tired of hearing the Zabil podcast bash them for not being able to compete with the big dogs. And Tariq Hill, I don't know if he's going to be in there. He's the engine of their offense. Tua is a pretty, he's a feasible quarterback. He can do it, but he's the one that really separates them. And they have not beaten anybody worth their salt. Well, they've got an opportunity these next 3 weeks to shut us up. I don't know if they will. I mean, Baltimore looks like a world beater. Dallas is going to be ferocious. They're going to be angry. They should be angry. They got
Where are they playing next week?
Miami.
No, in Miami or
Yeah, in
Oh,
Miami.
yeah, in Miami.
So they're gonna if they don't come out angry because the same people are saying the same things. They've only beaten one playoff contending team.
And
So
they have a bad road record.
terrible
Exactly.
road
Like
record.
They
the
could hit
narrative
both
is
of
they
those.
can't win it. They can't win.
We're talking
outside
Miami
home.
has a boat.
Although it's
bad-
only
no Dallas.
it's only
yeah.
3-4. Like it's not like they're
Correct.
like 0-7.
Right.
But they're 7-0.
They're
at home.
undefeated at home,
So they can't win on the road is the narrative.
No, that's gonna be a big game. I can't wait. All we need is Miami to lose one of those 2, and then it's just win and we win the division. I really, obviously, but really hope we're clinched by the time we play that game, because otherwise that's gonna be a heart attack game if we have to win and we win the division or lose and we're out of the playoffs. That would be something.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
I'm being serious because explain that to me. So
If we win our next 2 and Miami loses and either of their next 2, we play them for the division.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
they don't have to lose them both.
Right.
Well, because if we
good.
if we tie,
Bills would beat them.
yeah, there's a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
2 wins against them. I don't.
Yep.
Miami. This is a tough stretch for them. Number one. Number two. I don't know if Miami's up for it. Like nothing they've done all year suggests that they're gonna go out and beat the Cowboys, Ravens, and the Bills.
And
You
the
know,
Ravens are playing for the number 1 seed, so they're not gonna just lay it up,
Right.
Because they're
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
Ravens are in a tough stretch as well. I mean, they went to Jacksonville last night. They go to San Francisco next week, and then come back to Miami at home. I believe that game's in Baltimore. So, yeah, there's a tough stretch for a lot of people. The Bills are kind of lucky, I think, that they have who they have coming up. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, in Baltimore.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know some of these teams that have the wild card in front of us are playing each other too, which is good. So I think like the Browns and Bengals have a game against each other, and yeah, and I think the Colts are playing somebody else. Maybe it's the Texans. I think in between. So there's definitely some games to advance on, but the message is still the same. The Bills have to win out.
if you had to guess right now how the wild card or who the wild card teams are, there's 3 of them, right? So who?
Yep.
I would say this. I think Cleveland's in. Cleveland gets in as the wild card. I think Cincinnati also gets in as a wild card, and then I would say, right now, I would think maybe the Bills would be the 3rd.
Yeah, it's between us, Indy, and Houston pretty much. I don't think Pittsburgh has any chance. I think they suck. I think they're a fake team. And
we could
Denver,
really
I don't
use
think
them.
is really that good either.
We could really use Pittsburgh winning this week.
Yeah, which is crazy for a team that's in the hunt, basically. But that team's
Would be nice
They're
if
not
they
good.
found a way to knock off Cincy, but
That's a division game.
They could have helped us
struggle.
this
Yeah.
week too.
and we got Atlanta. Atlanta's home versus Indy. That would be nice if Atlanta could win that one.
Before you
We'll
leave,
see.
Blackout.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta
Why
head
don't
out, but yeah,
hey, family first.
yeah, yeah.
Can you give me your bold prediction for the Chargers Bills game?
Okay. Well, I actually think the Chargers are going to keep this one pretty close, so I'm going to say Bills 48, Chargers 9.
Would 48 be our highest point total of the season?
50.
Yeah, 48
Was it
against
50?
Miami.
You put 50 up?
Bills
I think
are
it was
48.
48.
48-20, yeah.
Okay, 48-9, folks.
Yeah,
Blackout.
it'll be a bit of a barn burner, but I think we
I heard
got
the
this
line is
one.
like 13 or something
Yeah,
like
13
that.
and a half,
So
I
it's
think, yeah,
pretty
that's what I
big.
Go in the yard.
Which the Bills have not done well this year with huge
Yeah.
Vegas spreads, but
Do you
I
think
think
there's
they're
anything to
locked
the
in now.
80% win percentage on a team that fires a coach in midseason?
I mean, they can't get worse than Brandon Staley, so I mean, it's gonna make a difference for them for sure. They'll be more motivated, I would guess.
So they'll score 9 instead of 6?
Yeah, exactly.
It's one thing to
Exactly.
be motivated if you're in the middle of the season and you have hope that you could turn it around. I mean, what are they, 5-9? They're going nowhere. They're hurt throughout their lineup. I don't know if I think Keenan Allen missed the last game. I don't know if he's coming back for this game. I don't know why they'd rush it. So I get the whole new coach vibe, but I mean, how far is that really going to take? They're playing with a backup quarterback.
That
here.
Easton
that's a thing.
stick, he was just
That's really his
trying
name?
to throw pick sixes every
I
play.
thought you were talking like
Yeah.
Easton hockey sticks.
Yeah,
What?
no, yeah, that's him. That's his
Okay.
name.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, good luck. Thank you.
Thanks, Herb.
All right, Herb.
Thanks,
See you,
dude.
Blackout.
See you guys next week.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Ho, ho, ho.
Just
See ya.
looking up Pittsburgh's schedule. Pittsburgh's got a bear of a schedule. They got to play Baltimore again. Speaking about the Chargers having nothing going for them, they got the Bills, Broncos, and then Chiefs to end the season. There's no hope. Chris pointed out there's no hope for them. I think the fact that their quarterback is hurt offsets any sort of mojo they have in a coaching change. That 80 percentile, I think it's skewed a little bit because rarely do you see coaches fired this late in the season, kind of where it sits 4 or 5 weeks out, where their fate's already decided. They're not going anywhere. I think the Sun's going to do the Bills good. I think Josh is going to have a great game. I really do.
A lot of times with that coaching change too, you're usually doing it because you have a team that's not playing to their potential. The
Next
coach has
level.
lost the locker room. I think he got fired because that loss was horrendous, but I think it was just more of like a collection of things with that coach. So I don't think that team is all of a sudden saying, oh man, we have momentum now. Like we got a new coach and a new voice and a new attitude. I just, like you said, Sean, I think it's too late in the season to be worried about that.
yeah, and the team wins the week after a big firing, but that loss was in all facets of the game. That was offensively, defensively, they just looked horrible. And I think you're right. I think that they have lost the locker room, but I don't think that there's enough to bring it back. But I will be picking against the Bills just so that they win this week because it's
good
worth
call.
the past 2 weeks.
Good call. Steelers play Bengals, Seahawks, Ravens. So they look like they're dead in the water too. So you can almost scratch them off. I mean, unless they have a miracle. You kind of got to admit though, with a bit of a pause, it would be a Billsy thing to do to lose this game.
Oh, for sure.
It would.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and it pains me to say that because it would suck the mojo out of the Dallas game. And it really would actually hurt them more than them winning against Dallas to lose. And it would be a 23-24 Billsy move.
I think
to lose.
there's zero chance. Of that.
I agree.
You know
I
what mean?
agree.
I just think the time of the year and the Bills being dialed in, you saw that in the last couple of games they played. Even if there's a letdown, it's easy to have a letdown in the middle of the season and know that the game's just going to end and you move on to the next week. They don't have the luxury of that. I think first quarter, second quarter, if they're not playing well, you're seeing guys throwing helmets on the sideline. Right. You're seeing impassioned pleas from the offensive line because they know this is it. So I just don't see how you could have a letdown in this scenario.
If there's catastrophic failure this weekend, is McDermott on the hot seat?
No.
If they get smoked by the Chargers,
if they make it in the playoffs, I think he's got a stay of execution. Let's be honest. If they're able,
what if they lose to the Chargers and that's their ticket out?
I think that's enough for not only the public but the ownership to sit there and say he got us in the playoffs again. He may not have got us to where we wanted to be, but I'm telling you, I don't think it's going to be enough to push him out. even though I think we would like to see a change. Chris, as an edge, everyone who has heard this phrase, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I just have flashbacks to that Dolphins game from early in the season where we thought, oh my God, unbelievable, they're fantastic, and then they go on a terrible slide. That's what gives me pause. I absolutely agree with you. I don't want to say I would bet the farm that they're going to beat the Chargers. They don't scare me at all. I just keep falling back on it. Would be such a Billsy thing to do to lose.
I
to play a
apologize.
game.
Has the spread come out yet?
I'll check.
Did you guys talk about
13.
it?
Yeah, 13 and a half, something like that, which isn't great.
So that's our largest spread as of the season so far, right?
Away.
Maybe against the away, because I think the Jets we were like 11 or something. I can't remember, but I am cautiously optimistic. Also, just having been burned so many times before. On a
They
positive
reel you
note,
in and then they stab you in the heart.
exactly. So
Patriots are coming up.
yeah, and I just don't want them to look past this team and say, hey, we got a division rival 2 weeks away that has kind of,
Look past
that
this game.
beat us
Right.
this year. You can't look
Focus.
past any game at this point. You can't look past this game. You don't want like a hangover game because you played this game so hard. You're going West Coast. This team's coming off a big firing. I don't know. I don't like it. I think we will win, but they have to take it seriously. You cannot sit back on this game.
The wife said trap game, and I looked at her. I'm like, well, that makes sense, but that's only if you're playing a top team the following week. They've got the Patriots the following week. I don't think there's any sort of trap game possibility here, knowing that you've got an even lesser opponent the following week. I think if as long as they're grounded and they don't, because again, I don't want to declare Dallas, but we kind of called it. Dallas might have been a wolf in sheep's clothing. They might not be the team we expect them to be, considering who they've beaten based on their record. This game against Buffalo kind of proved it, that they're not the be-all and end-all. I don't want the Bills to come out thinking they're the be-all and end-all and to get stumped by a team that has zero pressure on their plate.
I'm thinking that it's like I think Chris, I think you said it, that the Bills are in a playoff mode already. So I think that people are going to be going nuts if it's 14-3 or something in the second quarter. People are going to be going nuts on the Bills sideline. So I think you got to win. You can't even allow yourself to consider the trap game or whatever. Just win. You can't even, if you're a player, you can't even let yourself look at the scoreboard. I know that's human nature, but you can't even look at your scoreboard because you just got to win. If you don't win, it doesn't matter what anybody else does. So win, and that's it.
I think this is a good opportunity for the coaching staff to prove if they're good coaches or not.
I agree.
For the first time all year, I think I actually believe what I'm hearing out of the team. This is every game's a playoff game. We have to execute. We have to, I actually believe that they believe what they're saying. And that all being said, every game is a playoff game. I as much as I admire and respect your wife, Sean, I don't think there's any trap games this year. I think every game, that's all they're going to focus on for this whole week is San Diego. And then they're just going to focus on New England. And then Miami. You worry about those games. When you come to those games, you have to focus on the game in front of you. And I think that's going to happen. And I think they're going to do what they need to do.
I think this team is 100% dialed in. I just don't see any chance at this. This is what you want going in the playoffs. I mean, look at the teams that are going to the playoffs right now. San Francisco on a roll. The Bills are dialed in. This is exactly where you want them to be at this point of the season. The fact that they're in it, they got a chance, and they know it. They're dialed in right now. They know they cannot slip up. Playoff atmosphere every game. This is what you want as a fan and what you want as a player and a coach. He's got a locker room right now that he knows is in the palm of his hand. They're hooked. They know it. They're coming in the building every week now, every day, every week, knowing this is a game we have to focus in on.
And every person in the national media is saying the same message. No one wants to play the Bills. Nobody wants to play the Bills. And I'm glad that we're there now and not in week 5,
Are teams actually saying that, or is just the media saying that? I mean, are the Ravens watching this game and oh shit, I hope we don't go up?
Yes. I don't think they're saying oh shit. I think if they're looking at who's coming down the pipeline in the playoffs, I think the last thing they want to do is face a Bills squad that is hot and is heating up. I mean, look what they've done in the last 3 weeks. They literally almost took out 3 of the top teams in the league.
I think the two most feared teams right now are the Bills and San Francisco. I think every other team seems vulnerable. The Bills were definitely vulnerable before, but now they're on a roll.
Maybe Baltimore.
Baltimore, I watched that yesterday. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Baltimore. Okay, I'm with you.
I mean, we've kept Lamar under wraps for the last couple games that we've played them, but Lamar looks dangerous. He throws a nice ball.
He's surrounded by a lot of talent.
Yeah. Not to sidetrack again.
Nope, let's sidetrack. I love to.
So you guys are a little older than me, so maybe you can comment on this. I said a little.
Is that ageism?
Maybe.
No, I'm old. That's fine. Yeah.
Does anyone else get pissed off when Seattle's fans have claimed the 12th man?
Yes.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Absolutely. Every time.
This, we have it on the Wall of Fame, 12th man. I thought that was.
Looks like
it
these
could
guys
be
are gonna sing
anybody,
a
but
duet.
definitely Bills fans. But everyone's like, oh, the 12s out of Seattle. Do they have nothing else? What's the deal with
Wasn't
that?
it Texas A&M or
Yeah,
whatever that
Texas
copyrighted
A&M
it?
originally, I think, did it. And then the Chiefs, I think, at some point, their stadium's so loud, they tried to get in there. And I don't think they got in there all the way, but it's mostly Seattle doing it. And, back in the early 90s, I remember always being referred, that was always us.
Yeah, but that's,
So-
you know what? Our identity has shifted. We're now Bills Mafia. And
Right.
We've embraced that. Del, shout out to you. We've embraced kind of that. We moved away from the 12th man because I'll be honest with you, I don't know the last time I've heard that really used. Even when Josh Allen called out the Bills
Right.
fans, it was we need the Bills Mafia.
Right.
So I think we've, as a organization, we've moved towards accepting a different title.
What irritates me more is when other fan bases use mafia.
That's right. Well, okay.
Yeah, they use mafia. The Tennessee Titans mafia. I don't know if they. I'm just throwing it out there. But real quick, shout out to Dell. It was his birthday this week.
Oh, happy birthday, Del.
Happy birthday.
Sorry to sidetrack. That just pisses me off every time I see Seattle and their fans raising the 12s.
Not
You're
to
kind of
bash.
tooting your own horn when you're raising the 12s. Oh, look at us. We're here talking about ourselves.
Like saying, I'm a good guy.
Right.
If
Exactly.
you're a good guy, you don't say that.
You don't say that. Not to bash Seattle any further, but their actual uniforms, those lime green, piss me off because they're ugly.
I like them.
I
hate 'em.
like them.
Oh, it's awful.
I like them because they're so different.
I do
No,
like them.
ugly.
I don't like the all neon greens,
That's
but I like the subtle accent of the neon green.
It's like the Oregon, the Ducks.
Bucks,
They
the
wear
Ducks, they have the
yeah.
coolest uniforms.
Yeah, and they change it every game.
I hate the
Yeah,
the
they're
Grays. They have all Grays, don't they? Them and the
Oregon.
Rams, I think.
Watching the Seattle game here, it got me thinking about Puna Ford. I think that injury to Phillips opens the door. I know Puna, they were interviewing him. He sounds a little pissed off.
Yeah.
Saying that, I didn't really sign here to not play and whatever. I get it. You got to wait your turn. But now this Phillips injury opens the door for Puna.
It's you're at practice. If you're not outperforming the guy ahead of you, then you're
Right.
going to sit.
Yeah. No, right. And
And if
Right.
you're not in regular rotation, then
Yeah,
you're not good enough.
but I do think Phillips being here before, they're comfortable with Phillips. I mean, he's had 2 stints here now. Right, no excuses. But you have a Puna Ford now who's rested, fresh, and he's now in the rotation. So let's see what he can do. Next guy in.
To go back to the sidetrack, for those Bills fans who were upset with the Trey Edmonds release, he did have a nice interception for a touchdown
He
yesterday.
looked great this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah, listen, I'm just saying the only
They
highlight
actually have
I've
been
seen.
talking about him for a few weekends. It seems like every time they're talking about the Bears, it's Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah.
The production you're getting out of Bernard
Yeah.
versus what you lost and the price tag.
sense.
I mean, it's
Yes.
not even close.
Oh,
no one's paying.
I'm
no
just,
one's paying
I'm
that,
just
him that
stating
money.
facts that he's had
He's had a good week,
highlight last
but
week.
I think
on the
Bernard has
TV.
made us forget a little bit of
You
that.
know-
was
you know
just
what I
gonna say
love
that.
about-
I don't even think about him because of Bernard. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so what I love about Bernard is when he tackles somebody, he lays on top a little bit, and you can tell his head is moving. So he's talking some shit to people. It's great to see.
We talked about.
I
a few
hated it
weeks
if it was
ago,
somebody else, but,
the
you know.
teabag. That was.
Oh,
the
yeah,
great-
yeah.
It's-
Just go ahead.
So I was gonna say, if you watch Bernard too, he's in full command of that defense. He's slapping the lineman, pre-snap on the butt, telling him which way to go. He's yelling behind him. That dude totally looks like he's locked in on the calls. It's kind of fun to
Tell him
watch.
which way to go. Did you all catch Josh pointing?
The hand signals
That
there, it's
was
like backyard
awesome.
football.
That was awesome.
Behind
Exactly.
his back,
Football.
Yeah.
he's pointing to which way they should run, and it was so low tech, but it was fantastic.
He's reading the defense. He's like,
fantastic.
go that way.
Yep. It was fantastic.
I will say this. I think the game was won because of exceptional plays, but The Bills dominated both sides of the football in the trenches. They played nasty. They were nasty. They were chippy. They were mean. They played pissed off. Like, there was a couple, questionable late hits that could have been dirty or whatever, but I haven't seen that out of the team. Most of the time, they kind of play nice. I saw guys flying up to make tackles on the run. Most of the game, I was very pleased with the Bills' defensive tackling abilities. They looked clean.
They didn't
Not a
miss
lot
a
of
lot.
sloppy tackles until the third string came in, but whatever, they got to. But no, I was impressed.
That right there is the only thing that gives me pause with the next couple of games is you have to have that push. You have to have that intensity. You have to have a pass rush. There'll be games where you're watching. You'll say, how are they not generating a pass rush against this team and this offensive line? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could happen. Look what Dallas just did to Philadelphia in the previous week. That same line came up against the Bills, and Parsons was non-existent.
That's what makes me. But I mean, when I'm saying like they maybe have a little hangover, they might be a little tired from the week before.
Right, and so now you're not generating you're not generating a pass rush on this rookie quarterback, and they're getting a few plays here or there, and their drives are extended. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's the only thing that worries me is that you have to be willing to match that violence and intensity that you're talking about right there, and that's hard to do every single game, at least at that position, I think, at both lines, offense and defensive lines.
Absolutely, and I thought that the offensive line, like the way that they were pushing guys, like I think it was a highlight all over the place, how they pushed that one running play. I can't remember when it was. Who cares when it was? Everybody knows what I'm talking about. They pushed that guy like 10 more yards and just looked like they were just couldn't be stopped. They pushed Josh into the end zone. They pushed Murray into the end zone. Like, they would not be denied.
This one's for Chris. This is a macro versus micro. I'm going to bring up what you brought up earlier. When you said, I thought the game was, I thought you were immediately going to go to that third quarter where the Bills ate up 8+ minutes. Granted, they only got a field goal.
That was a great drive.
But they drove took more than half of the quarter off the clock, kicked a field goal. Right there and then, I thought the game was over. I'm like, there's no way with the time left. And it only resulted in a field goal, but I thought it was a fantastic drive.
They beat them up.
They just kept going
Grinding.
and going and going, and it was exactly what you needed. You kept the defense rested off the field. It was fantastic.
Right. Philly
Macro
had that
versus
drive
micro.
coming out of the half, and that was almost all they had the whole third quarter. And it was like, that's what you need to do in this situation. Control the clock, burn a quarter.
I think. Sorry, Chris.
I was just saying, I think that was the drive that broke the Cowboys' will at that point. I think at that point the game was pretty much over.
Yeah, Empire towing, maybe backbreaking.
The Empire
drive.
toe and recovery play, I would think would be maybe bringing in Joe Brady. A couple weeks ago, I think the season. I didn't think it would happen like this. I don't know if there's other things going on, but since they brought Joe Brady in,
I can't declare him a winner yet until they make the playoffs. If all of a sudden they turn around and make the playoffs,
I mean,
we can have that discussion.
I can.
I disagree.
I'll tell you why. I have it all right up.
Go for it.
So the Bills
right.
have
He's a
been
genius.
averaging 29.4 points and 394 yards a game since Joe Brady took over as offensive coordinator.
Can you say those again?
The Bills have been averaging 29.4 points and 394 yards a game since Joe Brady took over as offensive coordinator. They look like a different team completely.
I agree, but does Brady get the job if they don't have 12 men on the field against Denver?
But we're not talking about if Brady gets the job.
Maybe not.
I'm just saying.
Maybe not.
I was just saying, is he the difference, the recovery play of the season so far?
Yes.
Like bringing him in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You can't deny that the tides have turned since.
No, absolutely not.
The offense looks like a different team. Like Josh is having fun out there. You like the block that we've all talked about blocking the guy 10 yards down the field and all that. At the end of the play, you can see Josh come by and congratulate Deion Dawkins.
Yeah.
I guess my question is why does it take this team so long to do something that was necessary?
Because they're the Bills.
I just don't think Dorsey was a year and a half in. It's there's a lot that goes with firing an offensive coordinator with Allen and all that, and so there's no doubt that mid-season too, and what Dennis was saying, that the stats back it up, that this is a completely different looking offense. Cook's usage, I saw it today, he has 4 touchdowns and 21 touches, averaging 21 touches a game under Brady. Was not doing that with Dorsey. That's a huge reason why they're winning. The time of possession is 10 times better than what it was.
That's because of the run.
Yeah, right. And the points that they've scored now versus what they were doing prior to that, it's all the stats back up that this guy's changed the
If they
offense.
would have scored the points they've been averaging since Brady's been here from the beginning of the season, would we be undefeated?
I don't know about undefeated, but
very
we have
possibly,
3
though.
more wins
Very
at
possibly.
least.
Patriots, Denver.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville might have been tough with all the outside stuff, traveling and all that stuff after a big win with Miami.
We definitely would have at
But
least
it
3
would-
wins.
That's
more
right. Yeah, at
wins.
least 3 more wins.
So that would put us at what? 11-3.
Right.
Right.
We'd be in the lead in the division, competing for first overall.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
And
do
so
the
maybe
the Bills play better as the underdog?
Yes.
So maybe them having to go through the adversity that Chris was talking about is a great thing for them. Maybe they play way better from behind.
Well,
than being the
it
underdog.
goes back to what Sean said before. How many times have we
I don't remember anything
cruised
Sean
into the
says.
playoffs where we've, now we're fighting and scratching and clawing to get into playoffs? That's a dangerous team to play against.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Like we've had it kind of easy. Like we all went through the drought together, but
Not Brendan,
the
he's too
last
young.
I've been here.
Brendan was in diapers.
So the last like four or so years have been relatively easy compared to the drought, and so this year we're kind of having to work for it a little bit. So you kind of forget what it's like. But I mean I think it puts our team in a good position now. If we do what we got to do, then we're gonna be battle tested and we'll be good for the playoffs hopefully.
What I did recently too, and you can do this anytime. You go on YouTube and you search highlights for the Bills, and they break it down by season. So you can watch one YouTube video of all of 21, one YouTube video of all of 22. Those years where we look back now, we're like, we were so good, that was our window. We barely won a lot of those games. Barely won. And this year we barely lost a lot of those games, and that's how close we are. If we can start to roll and, win these one-score games, we win the game against Philly, like you said, and it's completely different. So now that we're rolling hard into the playoffs, hopefully, we have to win these one-score games. That's the thing. We blew out Dallas. That's great. What happens if it comes down to the last 2 minutes? A game against Kansas City came down to a penalty. Stuff like that. We have to win those games.
Well, they showed that stat that the Bills are, third best in the league for winning point differential, but then third in the league for their closest point differential losses.
Yep.
So they're blowing teams out, and then the games they lose,
They're
obviously
losing
they're close.
Yeah, I mean, so they're in every game. I forgot what the stat is now. Maybe 34 consecutive games where if they've lost, it's only been by one score.
Yep.
There's no team close for as number 2. I think it might be 9.
That Colts home game 2 years ago when Taylor ran all over the Bills.
Snow game?
That it was a rain start game, but that I think is the last time that they've actually lost by more than 2 scores or whatever it was, and that was 2. Yeah, I was there. Yeah. No, I took my camper to that game and everything. We were looking forward to it. Great tailgate. If you would have been there in the morning versus the afternoon, it was like 2 completely different days and football games.
Only in Buffalo.
Yeah,
4
totally was,
seasons in
yeah.
a day.
Yeah, I remember watching it here, and I had Jonathan Taylor that year for fantasy, and he scored like 5 touchdowns, and I was trying not to, trying not to be happy, but
Was that what Brighton Fire Hall game? Was that the one we were at the Brighton Fire Hall for that one?
no, I
that
don't
was
think
another
so.
year.
Okay.
But that's the last time that they've actually been quote unquote blown out was that game, and that's 2 seasons ago.
That's impressive. Do you guys? I love watching Josh Allen run into the end zone for touchdowns. I hope he breaks Cam Newton's record. I believe he's 26 away, right? Did he get the 50 yesterday, or he was going to, and then he got tackled, and then somebody else scored, right? On the next play, he was about to break it.
He got
No,
one.
but I think that brought him up to 49. I think if he would have scrambled in that other one that he's getting close, would have been 50.
50
he
all time. Is that what it is? 50
Yeah,
rushing
all-time rushing
yeah,
touchdowns for him.
He'll
I'm hoping
get
he
him.
breaks
I
it
mean,
next year.
Like over the next couple seasons.
I would hope he
so
gets it by next year. But wow,
How
I
many
can't
does he
wait
need?
to see your
Hot
prediction
take,
for the
hot
game.
take.
How many does he need? 20 something?
26. He's got 11, I think, this year.
He's at
10
10.
this year. Huh?
I misspoke there. I was thinking one more. You said 26.
So here's my question: if Josh breaks it next week, does he get MVP this year? If he scores 26 touchdowns next
Okay,
game?
so why
You
why
gotta
should
get in
he
the
get it?
playoffs.
Oh, okay.
You can't not get in the playoffs and get MVP.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I think if we make the playoffs, I think there's
Playoffs.
no way he doesn't get the MVP, and something will
I
happen.
think
and he
there
won't.
is. You look at the last like 6
Purdy,
MVPs;
Lamar,
they've all been number one
there's
seeds.
competition.
Well, is it MVP for your team or MVP for the league?
League, but you typically are the guy that's carrying your team. That's why I struggle with Purdy because granted what Purdy's doing is great, but I saw something today. He's literally first in almost every measurable quarterback stat. It's insane.
McCaffrey and Debo
Right, that's
Samuel.
the thing. So is he the
ball, they
MVP?
do everything.
Right. I mean, it's easy to be the MVP with that lineup around him.
Oh, there's been one game this year where McCaffrey didn't score a touchdown.
Yeah, it's just
that's
if my opinion right now is that it's San Francisco's world and we're just living in it. Unless someone goes down with an injury, if McCaffrey or someone
I'm sure Bosa will get it. Bosa will get
I don't know who's going to beat them. That offense is so fast. They're tough. They're going to need injuries to slow them down. This might be their year.
Well, you've got yourself a possible Super Bowl preview because Christmas Day you have the Ravens in San Francisco, and then they finish
That'd be a
with
nice
the
little
Commanders and the Rams.
And that is a Super Bowl preview because, so I don't know if you guys have seen this, the colors. So this is a Super Bowl conspiracy that the Super Bowl logo colors predict who the NFL wanted to be in the Super Bowl. And it's paid out like the past 3 years or something. And this year the colors are purple and red. So they're saying it could be Baltimore and
Arizona.
and
Probably not.
the 49ers.
The 49ers, the only thing I would say about the 49ers is they've beaten up a lot of really bad defenses in the NFC. They have not faced a lot of AFC defenses or offenses. I think Cincinnati went out there and put a licking on San Francisco. Right, like Burrow went out there and they did that. So, they've run up the score on a lot of bad NFC quarterbacks and a lot of bad NFC defenses. It'd be interesting to see what Baltimore does to them, and what would happen if they faced a team, with some scoring caliber.
That being said, they smacked around Philadelphia and Dallas.
I'm kind of out on Philadelphia. Philadelphia, I think they're not the team they were last year. The last 6 weeks, they've been trending down for me. So Dallas. And here we are with Dallas again, too, right?
Can you tell me why Matt Patricia is now calling deep plays for
Yeah,
Philly?
I don't understand that. Why you've lost 2 games all year, right? Three games all year, and they make a defensive coordinator change. Why? How does that make sense?
I think they were giving up a lot of yards. Even if they were winning the game, they were giving up a ton of yards, like they did with us.
Right.
I think that's what it was.
Did you see that stat in the one game the other night where it was Jacksonville? First time since, I don't know, maybe ever, a team has had 197 total yards of offense in the first half and not scored any points.
Oh, I did not see that. How does that happen?
Was that Dallas or was that?
No, that was Jacksonville. The Jacksonville game last night.
Did you? It's the turnovers. I mean,
I'm just stating facts.
If you watch, I know, but it's understandable if you watch how many times they turn the ball over.
They blew that
in
at
the 20
second.
yards.
They
In the
blew
red
that
zone.
in the second
red zone.
quarter last night, right at the end. He should have spiked the damn ball.
Oh my God! Prior to that, the series they had, he had the ball and he just fumbled it. It wasn't getting. He didn't get touched.
He tucked it in and just lost.
He lost
That's
it.
the shit that we need in our close games where other team bobbles it and botches it. But no, what do we get? Perfection against us in the last minute.
Sorry, Jacksonville's lost 3 in a row. He's in concussion protocol.
Trevor?
They're in trouble. They've lost 3 in a row. They're 8-6. So now you got 3. Yeah, right. And they're on the road.
Number 9, right?
You got 3 teams though in that division now: Colts, Texans, Jacksonville, all 8-6. So the Jacksonville had a firm grip on that division. They're all of a sudden in trouble. They've lost 3 in a row.
A lot of movement the next 3 weeks.
No doubt.
We just got to do what we
Best
got
game
to
of the
do.
year.
That's what I keep saying. We just have to focus on one thing: the game in front of us. Win that game. That's
Every
it.
given Sunday.
Bills are 16-2 in December since 2020. That's best in the NFL.
Whoa.
16-2 in the month of December.
That's a good stat.
I love that stat. We need that this year. I want to have the January wins and the February wins.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
that's
yeah.
where it pays off.
February win would be nice.
Yeah.
I think
Shit.
Jacksonville's gone. The Jaguars. If they play like Buffalo, the meat of their schedule, they wrap up with the Buccaneers, the Panthers, and the Titans.
Who's this?
This is Jacksonville, so they've got a little bit of a lighter schedule compared to the other teams.
The Buccaneers have been playing halfway decent though.
Correct. Division game: Steelers, Browns, Texans. Yeah.
Have any of you guys flown lately out of the Buffalo airport?
Have not.
Yes.
Are we segueing again?
Is Trevor Lawrence still on the wall as you leave to go to the baggage claim? Because when I came home from Vegas in this a while ago, April, but it still is in my mind, Trevor Lawrence was on the wall in I think it was a Jens Reed's ad or something like that. He's on the wall in the Buffalo
our airport?
Yeah, in our airport. I couldn't believe
Did
it.
anybody
sure?
doodle on his face?
Sure, was it a urinal?
It could have been.
No, it was the wall. Like as you leave to go to baggage claim, coming out of like the terminal, and you go down that hallway where like the double doors almost are. They don't let you back in.
Yeah.
And he's on the wall in there, and I'm just curious if he's still in there, because I couldn't believe it in April when I left. He was
Any
on the
fans
wall.
out there can text in.
Maybe I'll just go and find out myself.
I was in August. I didn't see him up there, but I think the NFL wants him to be the next up-and-coming Josh Allen. He just doesn't quite have the team.
They have Josh Allen.
this
He is a
year.
pretty boy, that's
They
for sure.
do have Josh Allen on their team. Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
I believe he was a first overall pick, and he's at least attaining that stature. He looks like he's banged up. Concussion protocol. He had a knee brace. He's just recovering from that. Was it a high? I think he's got a high ankle sprain. I know you guys, we don't want to go back to this one. There might be some madness to Dorsey at the end, because you know what? If we stay the course as it is, this might be the healthiest Josh Allen's been in the last 3 or 4 seasons. Just saying. When we were all calling them out, why are they Josh Allen trying to unleash him? We want Josh Allen close to 100%.
You said
when
this.
it matters. I'm beating
You
that
said
drum.
this.
I'm beating that drum because without
the
Josh,
leash
we're
on him, keep him
barely a
healthy.
mediocre team.
I think they're just keeping him healthy.
Keep him healthy till late,
I
January.
hate to admit
February.
it, you might be right.
I'm just saying.
Well, listen, I don't disagree with you. It doesn't matter if you don't make the playoffs.
Playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get that, but we make the playoffs but lose after 1 game or 2. Josh Allen gets hurt.
San
he's
Francisco
done.
last
Listen,
year.
the healthier
I
Josh
know.
Allen is, and if the season's over, he'll look good swinging that golf club on TV against
Right.
Mahomes.
Last year, McCaffrey was throwing passes in the playoffs.
Oh, that's right.
My friend Rob, the bourbon guy that we're going to have on eventually, he's a San Fran guy first, Buffalo, the Bills second.
No,
so
he's not on.
Oh, he brings good bourbon. He's on. No, but he was texting me last year. He's like, "What is happening? These quarterbacks, one after another, you know." And he typically will host a Super Bowl, so we went over there, and I'm like, "Well, at least we don't have to watch either one of our teams lose." Because a couple years back, they're winning against Kansas City. San Francisco's winning against Kansas City, and for certain reasons, I had to leave at halftime. And then when that issue was resolved, and I'm like, we could go back by then. Kansas City had come flying back, and I look at my wife. I'm like, yeah, we should probably just go home. Let's go home.
Predictions?
Yeah, might as well. It's always, I believe it feels like a shorter episode when you have a Bills winning Monday.
It just feels easier.
Not much
It
to
is.
complain
More
about.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there wasn't a whole lot of critiquing there. I mean, that the Miami game was probably divisional, so it was a bit more of a savory win. But considering where we are in the season, what was on the line, home in Buffalo, it was a party atmosphere, and the Bills delivered, the fan base delivered. There's not a whole lot to critique, you're right, with that game. It was...
Yeah, and it put the Bills back on the map.
It
I
did.
mean, if you tuned into any sort of sports analysis show, whether it be anything on ESPN, Get Up, First Take, or
Oh yeah, what did any pundits say out there? I didn't see.
they
much.
say just what we said. They
Yeah.
said the Bills are the scariest team
Yep.
going into the playoffs.
Even
they
my
said nobody
buddy
wants
Colin
to play
Howard,
them.
or Heard.
I didn't
Nah,
listen to
I
that.
don't like that
Power
guy, so I don't
rankings?
listen to him.
Well, I didn't like him, but I like
Stephen
him.
A. Smith couldn't shit on the Cowboys
Oh,
anymore.
he hates the
He
Cowboys,
was
yeah.
dancing around. I kid you not. Was
his
singing
house?
songs and dancing around on set with a cowboy
his
hat
house,
on.
he did that from his house, though,
Oh, yeah,
right
after
after
the
the game.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
he loved
after.
it.
Oh,
What about that douchebag Nick Wright on FS1? What did he say? Because he's
I didn't
always
hear
been
from him. I don't
anti-Allen.
know.
He's always.
I don't know,
anti-Allen.
but Greenberg is bought. We saw him the last couple of weeks. He's totally sold on Allen, and he's a Jets fan. And he was doing it again today. And even who even said some good things was Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan was talking about Allen's stats and how he only threw for 87 yards and this and this and this. And he goes, and my point is, even when he's not lighting up the stat sheet, he's a difference maker because they're watching him, they're hawking him, so the run goes, and now they're worried, is he going to keep it? Is he not going to keep it? All that kind of stuff. And yeah, exactly, yeah. So even without the numbers, he still is a difference maker.
Speaking of Josh, 10 games in a row with a pass and a rushing touchdown. Is that the most of anyone this season, or is that the most in NFL history or something?
He broke a record yesterday, and I don't know what it was. I missed that part. It was that one? Okay, yeah.
Kyler Murray had 9.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And we're finally breaking records that are good and not bad.
Exactly.
So that's really a turning point in the season.
And I'm happy to say Ryan Leaf's record is safe. So.
Yeah. I listened to his podcast when I first started getting into podcasts a couple years ago, and man, that guy had an interesting life.
Yeah.
The pod with him narrating it, telling his story, you feel for the dude. It was pretty sad. How much drug abuse and stuff he had to deal with and all that crap. So, okay.
Before we pick, one last thing real quick. Now that we're all media moguls down in the podcast.
I mean, we all do drive very nice cars now.
Yeah,
from
right.
the monetization of these podcasts.
You're all familiar with...
Except for Blackout, we won't give him a car.
He hasn't earned it yet. Real Sports, Brian Gumbel.
Oh.
You know that show? Tomorrow night is the last episode. 320 episodes. Tomorrow night's the last one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great show.
That was on HBO, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great show.
Who wants to go first? We got Bills Chargers Saturday night, Christmas Eve, 7:30 kickoff.
I'll go first. I think this is the easiest pick of the year, to be honest with you. I think that the Bills are humming, and I just don't think the Chargers are anywhere close to a team that's going to threaten the Bills right now. Backup quarterback, banged up wide receivers, defense that's been absolutely fleeced. I think they'll probably come out with a little bit more of a little bit more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a drive to win because of what the hell just happened to them and that blowout loss that they had. I just don't think that's enough. I think the Bills probably get up on them, and then Easton Stick would probably going to have to sit back there and throw, which means he'll turn the ball over. And I think you could see the Bills probably like a 31-6, somewhere in there.
Kyle, what's funnier, having a team with the same last name quarterback like the Bills do, or a team that's got a quarterback with the name of Easton Stick?
I would like to meet the parents that thought that was cool to name their kid after.
I really hope there was a contract involved in that,
Easton
some kind of
Stick.
endorsement.
Easton Stick.
Spelled as it sounds.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the hockey stick.
Maybe he's going to play in the NHL next year.
Well,
would
where
be
did he play
Bo
college
Jackson.
football?
Oh,
Does anybody know?
No one knows.
I'll look it up.
Ask Siri.
Northern something.
Northern Illinois State.
Sure.
Chris,
They
I will
play in
say
the
that's
UB's league.
it's a bold pick to go 31 2 weeks in a row.
I was going to make a comment. Mike, you apparently went, unless I'm incorrect, it says you went 24.
I did not stick with my 31 in the one game that we scored 31. But what I'm saying is he's predicting they're going to score 31 2 weeks in a row.
No, but you changed from your 31 4 games in a row to two 24s in a row.
But the
North
difference
Dakota
is the Bills
State.
never scored a
North
31.
Dakota State.
North Dakota State.
The Fighting Sioux.
So he's a hockey school.
He actually had like a national championship there. He broke like a ton of like FCS records at that school, believe it or not.
FCS quarterback?
I'm almost positive. Like they showed it last week,
Okay.
and then he went out and got trounced.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so Herb, 48-9. Chris, 31-6. Skip texted in 27-13 Bills. Anyone else ready to shoot?
I got 28-10 Bills. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout like it was. Hopefully I see my friend Kyle Allen maybe to start the fourth quarter. The Bills start end of the season resting a couple of guys. Even though it's Billsy to pick them to lose because it would be a Billsy thing, I'm like Chris, I can't get there. I can't get there that they find a way. All the great things they've done over the last 3 weeks for them to just lay an egg against the Chargers. Good weather in LA. I can't tell you I'd be stunned. It'd be closest to being stunned this season if they somehow lay an egg against the Chargers.
It's actually a month going back to the Jets game. I mean, the Jets game at home, then you had the Eagles, then you had KC Dallas. They've been playing at a high level now for a month.
Well, let's say, you scored 32, 34, 20 in a tough game against the Chiefs, and then 31. So The offense is consistently scoring points. Dennis, you look antsy.
Yep.
Let's get this pick out.
I'm ready to go. I think 31-17 Bills. It's not going to be that close in all actuality if you're watching the game. But I think that they'll, get a couple late touchdowns maybe.
31.
Or,
2 weeks in a row he's picked 31 points.
It's the way to go.
Okay. Brendan, Mike, me?
I think that the Bills are going to win this game. I think that they have to win this game. I think that everybody on that roster knows that their season is all but over if they lose this game. And for that reason, I will stick with my trend of picking against the Bills, and I will pick the Chargers 24-21 to keep the mojo going that way. Wow. Superstitious.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's not a
superstitious. I'm a little
pick.
stitious.
Yeah, that's
Michael Scott.
So I'm going to come off of my 31 again. I'm going to say 34. And I think that San Diego gets 13, and that touchdown is going to be late against our non-factor defense.
34-13.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think Joe Brady listens to the podcast. How upset were we that they called so many wide receiver screens that did absolutely nothing? And again, guess what happens in the next game? You don't see a single one.
Yep.
I think they got our back. I am going to go Bills 28-6. Crazy pick, but I believe in them.
Do they stick with the running game?
I think that you run the ball until you can be stopped.
I that's what it was against Dallas.
Yeah.
Do they continue to do that?
Yes.
Do it. Yeah, why not?
Depends on success, I think.
I think the mindset for the Bills is to get up early on this team, and I think they're going to do that by passing the ball. I think if they can get to 10, you're now going to ask Easton Stick to go up against that defense and come back and throw touchdown passes.
Well, what's
not happening?
Well, what's the Chargers' defense ranked?
I don't
Bad?
think the Chargers' defense is
Does it
the
matter if
caliber
they
of the
run or
Dallas
pass?
defense. No.
They're 5-9, so yeah. So
I would. Why don't you run the ball, tire them out, and then I don't know, throw the ball over?
I think the game plan is for the Bills to start fast and get up on that team. I think they know if they can get up on that rookie quarterback, that's going to be a victory.
I do want to call out myself for last week when I said Gabe Davis was going to have a big game. He didn't have a single catch.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a byproduct. I think it's a byproduct of the fact that the Dallas couldn't stop the run.
They targeted him, I think, once.
Yeah, he looked the wrong way.
How
He
many
looked
balls
like,
did Diggs? Oh my God, Diggs
That
made
one catch?
a hell of a catch.
Oh,
Yeah.
If that was the only ball he caught all game,
That's the only ball. That's the only
look
catch
at
that
that.
you see.
wife and I thought that was intercepted.
Going
It was
full
so
Clark
fast.
Griswold
Yeah.
over here.
Full Clark
or,
Griswold.
Cousin Eddie, if you want to.
yeah.
So, Sean, I have a
for
question
you.
for you.
Sir, yes, sir.
Very simple, yes or no.
Oh, come on. What's the fun in that?
Do we see Kyle this weekend?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Easy yes.
How many games did we go without seeing Kyle Allen? Many, right?
It was wild, yeah. I was off the Kyle Allen bandwagon officially last
Did
week.
you box his jersey up about to return it to Amazon?
Nope. Can't. I won't own. I do not have any Bills memorabilia until they win a Super Bowl.
Do you think it's weird wearing other people's like work uniforms?
No.
there is.
Oh
the,
yes. Speaking of that, Kyle, I'll return your NoCo shirt tomorrow.
Yeah, right. And if we're talking straight up jerseys, it is a little unusual that I'm a 42, soon to be 43-year-old man wearing a 24-year-old's jersey. Like if we're talking
I
hockey
heard
or-
it somewhere else where it was like a comedian was talking about it. You know, it's weird that people wear other people's
But it's your identity.
work uniforms.
You know, the
and stuff.
Bills.
It's just funny.
The Bills is Buffalo's identity, and you rock it. You just absolutely rock it because that is your local identity.
It's kind of like that Seinfeld skit you ever hear where like people are like married to laundry. Like that's why they like a team. It doesn't matter like the people that are in there. Like he says, you know, you're fans of laundry, basically of the jersey of not. It doesn't matter. People come and go.
Yeah.
It's just the laundry. You're fans of laundry.
I'm a fan of the Hartford Whalers jersey. I think those are really
Yes.
cool. Do any leagues have better jersey logos than the NHL as a whole?
No.
Favorite? Okay, let's go around the table. Favorite
Do you think
logos?
that? So to that
Quebec
point,
Nordiques.
Yes.
to that point, so yes, hockey is great jerseys. This is just another reason to hate soccer. Do they not have the worst jerseys like on planet Earth?
It's just their sponsor on their
like,
jersey, right?
It's advertisements and like stripes.
Yep.
Like how unoriginal is that? Like every time I see
That's
people
Europe.
wearing a soccer jersey, I'm like, you might as well wear an Abercrombie and Fitch shirt. Like what? You're
Banana
just
Republic.
yeah. Okay, and then write Messi on the back or something like that. Like just so unoriginal. I think these soccer
are
jerseys.
so expensive. They're like a minimum $150.
For real?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I was gonna
For a T-shirt, essentially, with advertising on it.
We were in the outlet malls down in Florida. My son saw one. I don't know, name a soccer guy. I have no idea who it was. And I was like, we're at an outlet mall. Maybe it'll be cheap, right? And we walk up to it was like $85 for this thing that he's going to grow out of in 2 months.
minutes,
No chance we're getting that.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to my nephew real quick. Great, if you're listening. Thank you for finally proclaiming your love for the Bills. He was cheering and jumping up a storm saying this is the best game ever.
Was he? He's an Eagles fan though, right?
He is a Bills. I think he is. Are you
Kansas
out of the?
City
Is
fan?
he out of the closet
Kansas
now
City and Eagles.
on the Bills? But he was the kid that wore the Chiefs and the Eagles stuff at the same time when they played each other. So he was jumping up and down. I think he's on the wagon, so I'll take it.
Real quick. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It won't
Real-
be bad at Christmas.
Real
when I see
quick,
him.
it's a clear answer. The best jersey in the NHL is the Boston Bruins. Original 6th.
Stop.
Centennial.
That is
100-year
that is
anniversary.
not original. That's look at that. There's
I
no
mean, it is
creativity
original,
there.
but
It's a
yes, I mean,
it's a B.
It's a B. Look at that. It's the hub of hockey, the spokes. Everything in New
Stephanie,
England
I'm
revolves
sorry
around
that you have to
Boston.
deal with this guy on a daily
The
basis.
hub of hockey, original 6th best jersey in the
Logo.
world.
I can't believe I yielded
Creativity.
to you on that, but
Bear,
I
brown,
will
and
say the
yellow.
only competition
Mute his
to the
mic.
NHL jerseys is some of the MLB jerseys that have some excellent logos. Like you look at like the old school Cubs logo is excellent with a cubby on it. I really like the old school White Sox jersey actually with like
with the two actual White Sox.
No. The one that's like the batter and it's like red, white, and blue. Actually,
Oh,
it's not
yeah,
even.
and
It's
got,
not
like,
black
a
and white.
shuttlecock or something on there.
Well, I don't know about a shuttlecock. That's a different sport. But
It looks like that though, right? Isn't it like?
What's
I think it's supposed to be baseball.
it's probably a. You might be thinking of the MLB
playing
logo. I'm
badminton
not
here?
sure.
I'm gonna look it up. You keep talking.
But there's some great ones. Montreal Expos actually have a great logo as well.
I was going to disagree with you wholeheartedly.
Am I thinking the Expos?
You might be thinking the Expos.
Has the
Mr. Red Stockings, great logo.
No, I was going to disagree
Mr.
with
Matt.
you ever since the pizza thing, but we were in Disney World, and there was a guy with a legitimate Trash Panda jersey.
Oh,
The
yeah.
single A, double A baseball jerseys and names
Full on.
are fantastic. I mean, just fantastic. I almost stopped them, and I'm like, I know that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm drunk.
I gotta tell you,
Whoops.
I wear that Trash Pandas hat
Yes.
all the time
Yeah.
because that is probably one of my favorite logos that we have done as an organization ever. This year we did some different minor league logos for our fall ball, and we're the Mighty Muscles, which I got some comments from the parents on that they weren't sure if that was a very clean logo. You'd have to
We
go
talking
to
about
the
sexual.
yeah,
Is it a
basically
innuendos?
it's a muscle
Should
like
I-
the
can I find it on
yeah
my
you
phone?
can open it up.
What's it called? Memphis Muscle.
The Mighty Muscles.
Oh, I like muscle.
It is a muscle. You know the what do you call that? Shellfish? I guess you can say shellfish.
Mighty Muscles logo.
Yeah, and it's a open muscle.
Oh.
With the muscle being it's like a muscular guy with a bat. Yeah, and there was some comments on if that was something else of the female
Tell them
anatomy.
to get their head out of the gutter. That's looks
That's
like
what I
a
said. I said this
that
is
looks like
Little
a
League
mollusk.
Baseball. I said it's Little League Baseball, and that's what we're here
Looks like
for.
a mollusk to me. Okay, so where were we at with whose favorites logos?
I like the NHL. I like the Mighty Ducks.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of a classic, you know. Not the one they have now.
the original one?
Like
The original
yeah.
one.
Yeah, like not the one they have now.
Classic.
I mean, when their logo came out, the San Jose Sharks was a cool logo.
How crazy is it though that they named a franchise after like a Disney movie?
Wasn't
team,
there a story
though,
behind
isn't
that?
it?
Disney owned it.
Yeah.
Disney bought that
Eisner.
company. Eisner bought it.
The team or something, didn't he?
He's a good Vermont guy, New England guy.
Yeah.
His kid was in the hockey. Literally,
Here we
his
go.
kid he's a hockey father. He's like, you know what? Let's own a let's own a hockey team.
To have that
And-
money to just do that.
And,
right.
with
Right.
a Disney company. And the
2
movie
years,
has
this
just come out.
podcast, we're gonna own a team.
Right.
We're gonna drive our
We're gonna
Bentleys
own a
down
team.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, as much as I hate to agree with Sean, and I don't agree with him wholeheartedly, follow me here.
Oh God.
I do have a pick that's not a original 6 team, but the original 6 jerseys, all of them. That's history. None of them have changed. None of them have changed in this environment that we live in. Chicago Blackhawks have not been forced to change that.
But that's such bullshit.
I was just looking at that one,
Braves,
yeah. Yep.
Blackhawks, they should all change if the Guardians and
Well, now
Commanders do.
Chief Wahoo.
No.
Yeah.
Chief Wahoo.
But I will say this. One of the jerseys I've always loved is it's kind of a goofy looking jersey, but the original Colorado Rockies hockey jersey. That was one of my. I don't know. It's
I didn't know
different.
the Colorado Rockies played hockey.
They do. Yeah, Colorado
no.
Rockies. Yeah,
No
it was.
kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
It was a Colorado Rockies hockey team that I think became.
That's like the Seals.
Flames? Did they go to become the Flames or Winnipeg?
Well, they are Calgary.
Here's the Colorado Rockies.
The
logo.
Rockies. Did they dissolve? Did they
Okay,
go
so
to
the Colorado
New Jersey,
state
maybe?
flag
Flames?
with a little mountain on it.
I think
Maybe
you
New
might
Jersey?
be right.
Okay.
I think you might be right. They
New
may
Jersey.
have. No, they may have gone the Calgary route.
No, Calgary was Atlanta.
Oh.
And the reason why I know that is because Calgary Flames are called the Flames because they were originally the Atlanta Flames because Sherman burned Atlanta.
So then where did then we had the Thrashers. The
Oh, they
Thrashers
went
are
to-
who
they
now?
Went to
became the Nord-
Winnipeg. My
Okay.
son just
Colorado
asked me about that
became
today.
the Nordiques.
Okay.
Then
well,
they
Colorado.
became Colorado Avalanche. So
Okay, so
Colorado,
they went
Quebec.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
They pulled a Baltimore in there.
And that's where they went from Quebec with Patrick
Is
Roy.
it Quebec or Quebec?
I say Quebec,
Quebec.
whatever.
I'm just
Tomato,
asking.
tomato.
Quebec.
Ass.
And then
Just
Patrick
curious.
Roy goes with Colorado and
Roy
wins the
or
cup
Roy?
down there. He's
next
Raw because he's French Canadian, but then Derek Roy played for us, spelled the same. I don't know. It's like Smith.
I don't know.
Tomato,
Hitting the
tomato.
head by a mule? I don't know.
So, but I always like those, the Colorado Rockies. And yes, that was
Fall
a
down a
hockey
well,
team.
eyes go cross, get kicked in the head by a mule, eyes
I
go
don't
back.
know.
I don't know.
I don't know. This could be just a podcast of one-liners. You need to talk into a mic.
It's gonna be
Anyway,
just a podcast and Christmas vacation.
so yeah, I like
I
the
could talk
Hartford
Christmas
Whalers
movies
jerseys.
all day
Those
long,
are always
baby.
cool. I think I like the green. That's why I think I.
Did you see where
in the North Stars?
Carolina was going to wear the Hartford Whalers jerseys?
Yes. What
with
happened?
the
Yeah,
Cooperalls. Do you remember the Cooperalls?
Yeah,
we talked about
that.
that.
Yeah.
Did that
Yeah,
happen yet?
so did that
I
not
don't think it's
happen?
happened.
Wait a minute. I don't want to derail.
You're mute. You're muted.
Oh God. I don't want
Here's
to. I don't
derail.
want to derail this. But did you guys see that the Tennessee Titans brought back the Oilers jerseys
I was
against
going
the
to bring that
Houston
up.
Texans?
And the Houston-
Against Houston?
And they were
That is
not happy
I
about
know.
that.
I'm like,
What
I'm
a
not
move.
sure if I like
Well,
that.
then they
move.
lost.
J.J.
Oh,
Watt
They
went
lost,
right.
so it
I
didn't
know.
help us out. That was one of the teams that screwed us. It's Houston.
I thought that was not insulting. The Carolina Hurricanes will bring out the Whalers jerseys against Boston. It's a New England thing. They'll
Sure,
wear
makes
them
sense.
against Boston.
I mean, that was the rival with the Sabres all
Right,
the time. Was
but
Boston
I
Hartford.
don't know if I've ever seen a franchise wear another city's jersey play them before.
that city.
I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was kind of a big fu, wasn't it? I mean,
I felt like that. That might have been taken disrespectfully.
And even what's his name, the coach, Tennessee, help me out. Vrabel comes out with a cowboy hat on and the whole 9 yards.
Well, it
Oh,
makes you
speaking of
wonder
that-
if that was like some bulletin board material, like, okay, fuck you guys, we're gonna come out and kick your ass, and they ended up winning the game.
What did you guys? Well, yeah, right. What did you think about? What did you think about that cowboy on the Cowboy sideline last night wearing that?
That team
Yeah.
doctor, he's always
Yeah,
there.
he's got
he
that
travels with him.
whatever
Jerry
hat you
Jones
wanna
thing.
Call.
The Stetson.
The Stetson. Yeah, I was like, dang, look at this guy.
He had a lot of work to do yesterday.
Oh, he
a lot
banged them
of
up.
Cowboys penalty or injuries for sure.
That was a nightmare game for the Cowboys, I think, all the way around.
Sure.
I don't think they saw that game going that way. No way.
I don't know that anybody did.
Either they are entering a slump, which would hurt the Bills with the Cowboys playing Miami, or they come out super angry against Miami and try to get rid of that I can't win on the road. So you got them trying to get rid of the I can't win on the road, knock against them, but then you got the Dolphins trying to get rid of we can't beat a good team.
Well, since you seem to
Label.
have a crystal ball, which way do you think it's going?
If, out of those two teams, I actually think Miami is worse off than the Cowboys. I just think Miami going up a front four, a good defense. I have not been a big fan of Miami's offensive line. I think Dallas' defense is going to be able to get Tua off his spot just enough, like the Bills did. And when Tua gets off his spot, he's not the same quarterback.
They have a full week. They play Sunday.
Christmas Day, somebody said.
I think so.
Monday.
More than.
So Monday,
Yeah.
because Dallas needs it. Dallas needs that time to heal up a
A lot of ice baths.
Tyreek's ready to go. I saw yesterday that he actually took part in the pregame warm-ups, and they were shocked because he was doing route running, cuts, everything. Ankle looked fine, and they were shocked actually that he was not activated. So I think Miami was just taking that, giving him a week to just kind of get healthy. So he'll be ready to go.
Well, they were saying his speed bursts and stuff were not the problem. It was the cutting to one direction that was. So
The Cowboys and Dolphins Sunday 4:25.
okay,
Yeah, and I
Christmas Eve.
Christmas
Yep.
Eve. And again, at least the Cowboys can hang their hat on. We beat a good Eagles team. Miami still has not beaten anyone of quality. And I'll beat that drum until they prove me wrong.
Imagine.
And I think that's going to be big for the Cowboys too, to say we're not going to be the team that they beat, especially after coming off a loss that we're getting so criticized for against the Bills.
Hey, Kelsey just had another false start.
Yeah, they're slowly trying to get rid of that tush push.
Well, no, he does that weird thing with the ball.
That was a tush push, though, and that's what they're trying to call him on to get rid of it. They're watching every time they do
How
that
nice
tush
was
push
that
now.
fake tush push where Josh felt this soft spot on the left and
Everything went right.
fell
That
right
was
through
a
it.
Great call, great play, great on Josh. Another example of everything went right for that Bills game. That was a great one too. And I did see a tush push. I don't remember against who. It might have been one of the Saturday games get stuffed. Like was it Minnesota? Yeah.
Speaking of Saturday, we're going to be able to have football again Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
A lot of games. A lot of games.
I got to tell you, my favorite NFL games are Saturday night games.
Right around Christmas time, too. They're,
My goodness. One of my favorite memories is a Buffalo Bills Saturday night game that I went to, and I don't remember much of it.
You were
Blackout.
Yeah.
I was blackout-esque, that's for sure, and it was awesome to have Sunday
Herb will
to
be proud of
recover,
you.
be back at work on
If
Monday.
anyone wants to get together that Saturday, let me know.
I feel good about. I'll tell you what. I fall in love with those 4
Here comes
o'clock
the
games.
tush push right now.
Those 4 o'clock games have made it for me. They're just right. The Bills have very rarely played as many as they have. 8s are too late. I know I'm old. 1s seem a little like you're rush to go, and then you're excited or exhausted. But the 4 o'clock games it's just right.
Yeah, they've grown on me. I didn't like them at first, but they've grown on
It's
me.
that nice ease into bedtime, too. You're watching the game, you're already relaxing, hopefully you got all your shit out of the way, and then it's bedtime.
Especially after a dub.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
If
we
it's a
lose
loss,
bad game,
you go to bed with bad feelings, and
just
that's
angry.
not good.
And we don't know what time the Miami game is yet, right? That's still TBD. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If we're done with Bills talk and we need some fun things, I think I have something Christmassy for everybody.
Pogues.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Well, I think, since we can't play music, we can't do the music thing.
Are you going to sing?
You wish. You wish. So I think it would be a good debate, and I think Sean already
Oh, I know where this is going. I'm ready.
put his piece in on this. Die Hard. Is it a Christmas movie or is it not?
I'm going to go no.
And why?
Too much violence.
You cannot just say no.
Whoa, well,
The
okay.
antithesis
Your
of-
argument is invalid because you know how many Christmas horror movies they have now.
Those aren't Christmas movies, though. Those-
Krampus. The one with
Just
the
because
guy
there's
from,
a Christmas tree in the office
the
building.
guy from Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's out.
When he's
that's new.
Santa.
That's
yeah,
new.
Violent Night. That's a great movie.
Oh, David Harbour.
Yeah. No, I'm going to solidly agree with Chris. It's not. It's just there's too much. Christmas is maybe the third, fourth, fifth thing you think of with Die Hard. You just don't really see that as part of the plot. It is definitely not a Christmas movie.
So I was cheating on Zabills, and I listened to another podcast. I apologize for that. And it was about Krampus, and Krampus actually has nothing to do with Christmas. Really? Nothing to do with Christmas at all. And only in America have they combined the two. And now it's kind of going, yeah.
No,
So
it's
what-
not accurate.
That's according to this podcast I listened to.
Yeah, Krampus in Western European tradition.
German. It started in Germany.
Yeah,
Yep.
you do have Santa Claus, and then for those really rotten kids, you have Krampus.
But go back and look at the actual origin of it. It had nothing to do with Christmas. It was just if
Oh.
you're bad,
Oh
Krampus
yeah,
is going to come in,
Yeah,
and it depends on the story. Some of them, there's some really weird versions, but he's going to kill you. He's going to kidnap you.
Yeah,
he's going to take you to hell.
They
He's
have-
gonna- it was bad. There was one of them where I'm not kidding you. he's gonna lick your face. That
that
was the threat.
They've
it
had
was crazy.
They've had Brad Marchand. They've had a number. They've played clips where kids have been marched in to see Krampus and they're fully in tears.
Yeah. He does this weird stuff. He does all this weird stuff.
Flag him for that. He already did. It is a replay.
Yeah, in case you guys at Za Bills were watching a tush push, Kelsey got called for going on all fours.
Go Bills. Merry Christmas.
Woody?
Go Bills. Merry Christmas. Kwanzaa. I can tell you a little bit about Kwanzaa. It's like I think it's a new holiday. It's not that old. It was like a peacekeeper, like an activist from like South Africa that started it, and I think it's a series of days. I don't think it's just one day. It's like a feast, a harvest, something like that. They're like a celebration of like a harvest in one of the African countries.
We'll Google that for Tuesday.
Yeah, Google it. Something to chew on.
Yeah.
Go Bills.
Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in a couple
Christmas.
days. We'll see you in a few.
Go Bills.
Alrighty.
Happy Kwanzaa.
See you, dude. Thank you.
So Sean,
go
just real quick, and then I'll be done. My Krampus thing, it has to be true because I heard it on the internet.
True. Yeah, I agree. I'm not spelling that.
Hey,
So
we're on
this
the
is what
internet.
this is what brought us the Nazis then, right? Because a German thing. This is what brought us the Nazis, pretty much.
Okay, I'm down with that.
All right.
How did we get to the Nazis?
Krampus.
German. Krampus is German, so that's what created the Nazis because they're all afraid of Krampus.
You know what, Dennis? I did not see that coming.
I didn't either. I was like, well, this is
You're
sharp,
welcome.
sharp
You're
right
welcome.
here. No, but a lot of Christmas traditions start in Germany. Christmas tree, like a lot of it starts actually. There's a lot of German traditions that carried over to America, related to Christmas. So I have no idea how we got
I'm
there.
going to answer the question, and I'm going to say yes. It is a Christmas movie because it's a Christmas party, and all hell breaks loose at the Christmas party, and he saves the world. And
That's Kyle
I
reeling us
agree.
back
It's
in,
one of
guys.
my favorite Christmas movies, to be honest. So it is a Christmas movie.
What is your opinion?
Yeah.
So I'll go a step farther and say that not only is Die Hard a Christmas movie, but Die Hard 2 is a Christmas movie as well. Because not only is Die Hard 1 set at a Christmas party, John McClane is coming to California to his struggling marriage, to be spending Christmas with his children and pick up his wife at their company Christmas party. But Die Hard 2, his wife is coming to the other coast to come home for Christmas, and she's stuck on a plane, and he saves Christmas yet again. To anyone that does not believe that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I raise you this question. Do you think that It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie?
Wow.
You're
I
gonna-
can't answer because I've never seen it. Sorry.
You're
Bob.
going to destroy
Unbelievable.
my wife if you tell me no.
This is on Sean then. It's on Sean. This is my wife's favorite Christmas movie.
Same.
Is It's a Wonderful Life.
Same. Yep.
So we've actually
Folks, if you can't see, he's got smoke coming out of his ear.
Oh, he is struggling. He
Grinding.
sees
The
he
ears
sees
are
where he
grinding.
sees
He's
the flaw in his
thinking.
argument right now.
No. I've already admitted one way or another. If the Zal Bills listeners know that when I came on at home, I wasn't live. We had talked about that one, and I had said you could make an argument that Wonderful Life is not a Christmas movie. It could be a Christmas. It could be a movie that has been usurped by Christmas. So it might be the best example of no, it's not. But because it's so connected to Christmas, Christmas has taken it for itself. I love It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's just American wholesomeness at its best. But no, if you're a truth serum being, it's not a Christmas movie. It's a movie that's played during Christmas.
So I'll applaud you for saying that, actually, because everyone outside of you would say that It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie, I think, because of the giant scene at the end of the movie.
Right. Do they have 47 inflatables of Christmas on their front lawn?
They absolutely do not.
Then
'Cause
ignore
I don't
them.
think
Frankly,
in
they don't know what they're talking about.
whatever the
Started
heck it
then.
was, black and white movies, that they even had inflatables at all.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So I think most people would say It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie, and really the only thing in It's a Wonderful Life that is Christmas is like the last scene where they're having the party and everyone's bringing money to George Bailey to save his ass.
Oh, so they had GoFundMes back then.
Oh, basically, this was basically a GoFundMe.
Original GoFundMe.
I cannot.
Straight cash,
You've never
homie.
seen any
Yeah.
of it?
No.
You've never.
You gotta watch It's a
You
Wonderful
got- just
Life.
Google the last 15
I
minutes.
hate it. I actually hate It's a Wonderful Life. I don't enjoy the movie at all.
My wife makes me watch it every year.
Yeah. But it's my wife's favorite movie. When we're wrapping the gifts, she has to have it on.
Santa.
She says, "This is my thing."
Helping Santa.
I wrap gifts and I watch It's a Wonderful Life, and I sit there and I criticize the movie the entire time.
So,
Okay.
go ahead.
I know. I guess it doesn't surprise me because you came down so hard on the Christmas shoes that you would damnation the great American classic. It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh my God! I heard somewhere today. Listened to a podcast. Sorry to interrupt. Where a guy does a Grinch podcast. He pretends to be the Grinch and he has guests come on, and somebody was talking about that stupid song, the Shoes song, and and I'm like, oh my God, I know that shitty song too.
Well, and you know what's funny about It's a Wonderful Life? So every year I'm like, I hate this movie. I'm criticizing George Bailey the entire time. I'm like, this guy's kind of an asshole, whatever. And my wife goes, you know what? He reminds me of you.
Oh my God. We are married to the same woman because she tells me the same friggin' thing.
I don't want to watch it because I don't want to be told the same thing.
She always says it when he comes home after the stupid uncle lost the money.
Yeah.
And he's like, why do we have to live in this drafty house? Why do we have to have all these kids? And I say that all the time. She's like, yeah, you're George Bailey and you hate this movie.
That's funny.
Here's my prediction for the night. Last prediction. Bills is going to be in the can. It's going to be up there on the World Wide Web. Kyle's going to be in bed with his wife watching the last 15 minutes and tearing up like a baby. And his wife's going to be like, what's wrong with you? And he's like, I'm watching A Wonderful Life for the first time.
And then you know what she's going to say?
I can't handle it. He's sobbing.
Then you know what she's going to say? She's going to go, oh, he reminds me of you.
I'm just saying now. Kyle, I'm going to do the South African apartheid protest here. If you don't watch the last 15 minutes of It's a Wonderful Life between now and Christmas, I'm not coming back for the podcast.
Yes, you are.
Really?
If you got to watch the last 15 minutes.
15 minutes, all right.
You get 15 minutes.
I have it on DVD. I can see that.
And YouTube!
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
YouTube it!
If you have
It's
Amazon
in
Prime,
public
it's on Amazon
domain.
Prime.
Yeah, but you gotta watch the whole thing. It's long.
The payoff is good. If you watch the whole thing, you get the payoff. But even if you watch the last 15 minutes, you're like, oh my, sobbing like a baby. Your wife's elbowing you. Shut up, Kyle.
All right, so I have to
See, I
watch
love
it.
the movie myself. I love it, and it's kind of hard not to cry, to be honest. I mean,
The brother comes in. There's fake snow
Oh
flying.
yeah,
It's no Con Air.
probably asbestos. That's true. Not many things are.
Kyle, I will tell you this. I've seen it many times. I've never shed a tear. Not one time. But,
Okay. The Grinch is to my right.
yeah.
His heart grew 2 sizes big.
Yeah, exactly. Total sidebar, but back to your Die Hard. Which Die Hard was with Samuel L. Jackson?
The third.
Die Hard 3,
With
the
a
only one that
vengeance.
was not Christmas. Well, of the
Oh,
original
I don't know if I've
3.
seen Die Hard 3.
That's a good one, too.
Oh, Die Hard with a Vengeance? Yes, you have. Come on. Kyle,
Sam
you're
Jackson.
disappointing me. As a guy who was able to watch these when they came out, probably.
So
Maybe I have seen. Maybe.
Die Hard with a Vengeance is that
I've
one.
got to
number
tell
three.
you,
What was
though,
Die Hard 4 called? Oh, that's the one in the park.
The newer ones
New York
are
City?
so
Yes.
In the park?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Seen it.
with
And the puzzle?
yeah.
No, that's
In the water.
that's
That's
three.
three.
He's
Simon
talking about
Simon
Seen it.
says
Seen
all
it.
that. Yeah.
Seen it.
So I will tell you that one of my favorite all-time TV edits was from that movie, that scene where they're on the fountain and they're trying to figure out the thing, and they start calling each other motherfucker. But you're on TV, so they start calling each other melon farmers, and it's so
that's good.
funny because they're trying to.
That's awesome.
That's funny. Yeah. Melon Farmer.
I'll tell you, Kyle, if you need it, I have a Die Hard DVD box set.
Does it have
And it's
Die Hard
1
4?
through 4, I believe.
I never saw 4.
So 4, I think, is the one that's much newer. It's
Yep.
Justin Long. It's the one where there's like the
sounds like a
cyber
James
attack on the country or
title.
something like that. But it pales in comparison to the first 3. I will say that besides
Oh, I got a good
Home
question.
Alone, so maybe hot
Home
take
Alone's a
here.
good one.
Hot take.
Definitely a Christmas movie, Home
No,
Alone.
no.
Okay.
I definitely agree. But besides Home Alone, I think that Die Hard 1, 2, and maybe even 3 are movies in which the sequels really stack up to the original.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
One of the few times that happens.
Not like
Yeah.
Fast and the
The other
Furious.
the other time it happened was The Godfather.
Yeah.
Godfather 2 was
Oh,
better.
that's
And I was going to say...
I haven't seen those either.
Damn it, Kyle.
One or two.
You have a lot of TV time coming.
You've seen 3.
What do you watch?
Fraggle Rock, Dark Crystal,
Dire Straits, and not watching any movies.
I'm one of the few
Dirty
Italians.
Deeds, or what's the name of the song? Sorry, go ahead, Sean.
Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap.
No.
Okay.
Money for Nothing.
Oh, that's right, Dire Straits. I am one of the few Italians that actually does like Godfather 3, and I put Die Hard with a Vengeance as a third movie that holds weight, kind of with the original 2. But yeah.
I was watching a lot of Lampoon's movies, Landis movies, like, Trading Places, Blues Brothers, all that great stuff. I was watching that stuff.
Those are good movies.
Stripes.
So you need the violence in your life, basically.
Violence and
yeah.
comedy. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some good comedies. in there.
Rom-coms.
What?
What was a better trilogy, right? There was 3 of them. What was better, Die Hard or Loaded Weapon?
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal.
Lethal Weapon. Loaded Weapon was
He's
the
also
spin-off.
been drinking.
With Emilio
Definitely
Estevez.
Die
And the
Hard.
Girl Scout cookies.
Die Hard for
Definitely
sure.
Die
I
Hard.
think he's been drinking the Egg
I
Nog
like
too.
Lethal Weapon
What'd
1
you
and
say?
2. When they got to 3, I didn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah, one is probably one of my favorite '80s movies, along with Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, there's
one.
I think I like
The first 2
Beverly
are
Hills
good.
Cop
The
most.
third one is getting kind of rough, and then the 4th one was kind of a joke.
And you talk about Lethal
Lethal
Weapon?
Weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Pesci kind of comes in there
Oh,
in all
dude.
the movies.
He has the best scene where he's talking about the cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
They fuck you, and then they fuck you some more. When they think they're done, they fuck you some more. It was the best part of that. Oh, God, that's a
was
funny
good.
scene.
I almost lost a friendship with one of my friends because he thought that My Cousin Vinny was just an okay movie.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie.
You know who you are. You know who you are out there, and you listen. But yeah,
Do you know if they listen?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Sean, what's a ute?
Ute?
Utes? What's a ute?
The 2 utes.
What horror movie was he in?
Who? Pesci?
The judge in that movie.
Oh,
Well, I wouldn't call it a
Yeah.
horror movie.
Oh,
but
I
he was
absolutely
Herman
would.
Munster.
No.
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
one of the grossest scenes when he gets his Achilles tendon cut
Yeah,
in the basement
slicing the
stairs.
ball.
That's why when someone said it's not a horror movie, I'm like, wait a
Well, 'cause
minute,
I thought
that
he was
is.
talking about Herman Munster.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So for my generation, I think of Hostel when you say that. Have you ever seen
Nope.
Hostel?
That-
Where they
no,
cut the
I
guy's
don't-
Achilles
I don't watch
tendons?
that
That's
stuff.
nasty. I think anytime you're muted again.
Okay.
Anytime that happens, I think that is probably
on the shaft.
that probably has to be like the nastiest thing. You,
Poor Brendan's got a serious.
We're talking about hands
I
on
love
shaft.
it. I love it. I think that's probably the worst bodily injury that you can give me. Cut someone's throat, whatever, shot in the
I
head,
don't like any of it.
gut shot,
yeah.
cut someone's guts open. You cut someone's Achilles tendons, I can feel it.
You know what
I can
happens,
feel
right?
it. It's
You know what happens when you cut an Achilles tendon?
It snaps like a rubber band, doesn't it?
Yes. It rolls up into the back of your calf like a
Yeah,
piece
we
of
all saw
celery.
Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Thank you for bringing him up. Do you think the Jets are nuts for clearing him and let?
He's
Is
not
he
gonna
gonna play?
No.
He's not.
No.
Especially after the loss yesterday.
Not at all.
No way. Because they're out of the playoffs.
I think it's an insurance
Yeah.
issue, too. I think the
yeah.
insurance
Zero
company
chance
says,
he
"Are
plays.
you out of
He
your
doesn't
Nuts?
mind?
Why would they
We're
let
not
him play?
covering him if you're going to put him in there. You're nuts."
That was all publicity.
Yeah. Kyle, I take it back. I'll be on the podcast even if you don't watch the.
See?
It's a
What'd I
Wonderful
say?
Life.
I mean, I would like
Mike,
to
you were
watch
right.
it, but-
All right,
Just
all
the
right,
last
all right.
15 minutes.
After I watch Christmas Story for 48 hours, I'll fit it in. I'll fit it in.
24.
No,
It's
I'm
only
gonna
out
watch
for
for 2
24
days.
hours.
That's a great movie.
Oh, I
it.
love Christmas Story.
Did they ever make a sequel?
Have you seen?
It-
Oh,
it-
it's terrible.
Straight
Time
to
out,
video.
time
It's
out, time
terrible.
out. Everybody back
and
up a
actually,
step.
so before you go on, not only did they make a sequel that was
A
terrible,
prequel.
but there's a new one with Ralphie that's older
Yeah.
Oh,
that
I
just
saw
came
that.
out.
Not that good.
Not good at all.
Let's just
Not
back up
good
a
at
second.
all.
When we,
Oh, it's
all
brutal.
of us were like, "That's a great movie." Did you hear what he said? What is wrong with you?
Problem is, it's a cult classic.
Sean.
Is really what
I
it is.
can-
You gotta like it or you love it.
Yeah.
Like Goonies?
Like it, love it, or hate it. No, Goonies everybody likes.
It's not in my. It's not my top 10.
I was gonna say.
Okay.
Now we're gonna have words.
It's grown on me. I will say the Christmas Story. It's grown on me. I wasn't really raised on it, but it is.
What?
Christmas Story? It's kind of grown on me. So
Okay,
over the
I
years.
recognize that this is probably a little too late
Home
now.
Alone, Christmas Story, Vacation.
Oh, Vacation, way above
Yeah,
everything else.
I love Vacation. I do.
Vacation, Christmas Story, Home Alone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, Mike.
I recognize this is probably too late because by the
rude.
time we re-record, it'll be Kwanzaa, not Christmas. Okay, are you ready? I know somebody. He is actually friends with a lot of the cast from the movie
Of
Christmas Story. Christmas Story.
no shit.
He
He's gonna have Ralphie call in.
he actually has there's pictures of Ralphie in his home in North Tonawanda, along with a couple others, where they've come here to do things at the Riviera Theater.
Yeah.
And he hosts them, and then they do a screening. He's stayed in the house, all that kind of stuff. So if we ever want a Christmas themed, I can have him call in. His name, I won't say his last name. His name is Joe. He lives around the corner from my father. So
Ralphie's in what modern day Christmas movie?
Alf.
Correct.
Yes,
That is
yes.
correct for 200.
And another one. There's another one.
Stump me.
4 Christmases.
Oh, with
So-
Vince Vaughn?
Yep. So 4 Christmases, he is the person at the airport. I believe it is. He's working for the airline,
Oh.
and he's the one that's kind of like Vince Vaughn's bitching at
Oh.
when they can't get out. I don't know if you've seen 4 Christmases.
Yeah.
Kyle definitely hasn't seen it. He didn't see any Christmas movies apparently.
He's watching.
I will say this isn't a mainstream Christmas movie.
No.
It's Vince Vaughn and
I like Vince Vaughn. I think he's
what's
funny.
the girl?
Wayne
The
Crafton?
guy who
Rachel McAdams.
Reese Witherspoon.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh yeah, maybe I've
Yes.
seen that.
It's actually a pretty good movie.
I just think.
But he's at the airport. He's like the person they're bitching at that they can't get out of town. But it's Ralphie. But yeah. So as a person who owns a full-size leg lamp, a pink bunny costume, and my wife has a leg lamp costume, and various other Christmas story things, I actually do like Christmas Vacation better.
If
Wow,
you
okay.
do not
You really
show up,
spun that one. You're
I
about
know.
to pump the tires of it. You,
There's just
hard
so
right.
much in Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
so
great.
many little things. Like
Great.
so
Can't see the lines, can you, Russ?
So not only that, they're walking through whatever it is, Walmart or
there any
whatever,
food right
and
now?
he's
Hotter?
he's telling them about gonna buy for him. Not only does he have the dog food, so like Chevy Chase puts the light bulbs on top, and then he crushes it with the dog
Yeah.
food, and it's just not even acknowledged, but it's just a great comedy bit. Also, I think in that scene, if you look really closely, and I don't know if this makes me a little weird, but if you look, like Cousin Eddie's a little stuffed in his pants. He's got he's wearing like a sock or something in his pants, and he's got like a full-on heart on in that
oh
scene.
my God! Now we
So
have to go
take a
back.
look at that scene.
We just watched it this past weekend.
Yeah.
In our household,
Oh,
leading up, you pick a movie.
yeah.
Right, you talked about that a couple weeks
Well,
ago.
that's why when he goes in and he kidnaps the boss.
Yes.
That's why the wife is like, he was a huge bulging man in a blue leisure suit.
God. Yeah, no.
I didn't catch that. That makes sense now.
The oldest son picked that one. It's on, I forgot, HBO Max. So we play the unedited version.
Oh boy.
And that's the one. It's not as dirty as you
not
think
that
it is.
bad.
It really isn't that bad. A
It's
couple
really
of F-bombs. It's not
when
not
he's going
that
off,
much.
but
But the one scene in the pool with Cousin Eddie's fantastic.
Oh,
yeah.
And you could probably do 6-7 years of Halloween costumes as Cousin Eddie just in that movie.
yeah.
That was my takeaway with that one. But I agree. That one is a classic. The Christmas. I put that one. Vacation. Then I forgot what the third one was. But
Home Alone.
Home Alone is second because that was just.
So,
that
what
was
were
so
your
much
5
magic.
movies that you guys are gonna watch?
Let's see. I do a quasi Disney Christmas Carol from 1982, backing up with the Grinch. We had the Elf this year. We had a Christmas Vacation this year.
Is that Muppet Christmas Carol or is
No,
that
it's the cartoon
Oh.
version. It's like the one when you would get like the
Love the
free
Muppets.
Disney Channel, like in December, you'd watch it from 19. It's just a Mickey 1/2 hour.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
We've done Miracle on 34th Street, which was just on. And
Is that better or worse than It's
The
a
newer-
Wonderful Life?
it's cuter, but it's a little more out there. It's shorter. I mean, it's not bad.
Okay.
It's a cute movie. The one with Sir Richard Attenborough. But yeah, my daughter's gonna kill me because I forgot her selection. It might have been Polar Express, but yeah, those are the 5 we pick. We pick one every year.
We watched A Christmas Carol, the one with Jim Carrey, the animated one,
Yeah.
from like, I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever. I'd never seen it before. We watched it a few weeks ago. It was pretty good. I remember at the time when
the real dark version of Christmas Carol came out a few years back.
yeah, with Patrick Stewart, I think, right?
No, not Patrick Stewart. I'll have to ask my wife. It's one that was
Black and white dark, or are we talking?
no, like it's a dark side of the story.
It's a little darker.
I'll ask my wife. She'll be able to tell me.
Yeah, it came out a few years ago, right?
Yeah, I'll ask her real quick.
Football question. Sorry to skip out of this. College football playoffs. Do you agree with who's in it? Michigan, Washington, Alabama, Texas.
So you're asking if Florida State should have been in it?
Yeah. Alabama's got one loss, right?
I think so. I
And
don't
that was the
know, to be
argument because
honest.
Florida State was undefeated, and
Well, yeah, the argument was definitely Florida State being undefeated. The argument was that the quarterback for Florida State, I forgot his name, he got injured, so he's not going to play.
dumb.
So they don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
So
That's
dumb.
what they said.
It is.
I don't agree with that myself.
That's a factor, and it's
Yeah.
so dumb.
It's all jacked up.
you know what they just need to do? Expand it.
And I
Well,
think
they are next year.
Ohio State should be in it.
16
Georgia
teams
should
next
be
year.
in it. Good.
16 teams next year. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, go big or go home.
Right. Well, the only thing the only thing the 16 teams
Are they eliminating
does-
the conference championship games then? To fit it all in? Because
Man,
these
that-
teams are going to be playing
Yeah,
significant
that
amount
was
of games,
that's,
right?
that's a fun thing about
Why don't
college
they just do
football.
8?
Well, 16 does eliminate the strength of the regular season, you know. But on the other side of it, you don't have to be perfect, you know. So I don't
Right,
know.
a win-loss,
Right.
loss team could win it.
I mean,
Yeah.
16's more than the NFL.
Right. Well, that's what they're doing.
So you
Yeah.
play. So I wonder if that would take place at the championship rounds. Like
Maybe.
Ohio State and Michigan had their regular season game, but then Ohio State lost. So then Michigan goes on to play in the Big Ten championship against Iowa or whoever they ended up crushing.
You know, and I'm not a big basketball fan, but it'll never be like March Madness.
You couldn't do it.
But I think they're trying to replicate that to some degree. It'll never be like that, but I
Okay, so you go 16-8, 8-4, 4-2, then
Yeah,
1. That's like
yeah.
what is that? What 16 to
4 weeks.
16
it's
to
an extra
8,
4 weeks.
8 to
That's
4,
a lot, and you
4
kind
to
of like,
2,
you
2
know,
to 1.
I always
Yeah,
kind of
that's
like the national championship around like
they're gonna
the
have to get rid of the
92s.
championship
do.
games.
That's what I always
and
kind
they
of say.
and they may
national
still do
championship
that though.
years, you know.
They may still do that. Think about
Or the
back
championship
up.
conference championships could
Well,
be the first round,
think about how long it's been.
right? Is there 8
since
conferences?
Alabama played until they play. I mean, that's a month in between there. That's 4 weeks. You can play your playoffs, so it's just nonstop. There's no break. You know what I mean?
Well, that would be interesting that if you didn't win your conference and you made it in and you knocked somebody else who did win their conference out. Because these conferences aren't all equal.
Right.
I actually have something more important to talk about real quick.
Go for it.
Let's get back to Christmas Story real quick.
I'm here for it.
The bully, what was his name?
Scott Farkas.
He went on to make other movies. Do we know what those were?
I do not.
Adult
I
films.
got nothing. Oh,
Whoa.
Became an adult film
Well,
star.
he is a redhead, and there's a shortage of redheads in adult films, that's for sure.
The one movie answer Kyle had.
So Kyle's seen that guy.
I will just say that I could tell where he was going.
with the wink and the smile.
That it was something probably a little off the cuff, and I just took a guess.
Well, that's funny you say that. Because,
Why am I
so, I'm a 90s kid. Some of you might be.
Yeah.
Are any of you guys Boy Meets World's fans?
Oh, I know
Yeah.
exactly where you're going
Topanga?
with this. No, not to. I
wish.
I wish.
Oh, I wish Topanga.
Not Topanga.
So
Which
the
kid?
the later seasons where they're in college, and the roommate, the redhead roommate, I forget what her name is. She's roommates with the older brother Eric, and then Sean's estranged brother. There's a redhead girl who they're roommates
That's
with.
way more than I remember.
We're
Well, I told
talking
you,
not
I'm all
the
about
not
this.
the callback.
No,
Girl
no,
Meets
the
World. We're
original.
talking
The original. When they're older, they're out of high
Yeah.
school.
What's it called?
I didn't know it kept
Maitland
going.
Ward.
Maitland Ward. He's got it.
I just Googled it real quick.
So she was the roommate of, yes. So she was on Boy Meets World, and she is now a adult film star.
Are you guys ready for this? Changing the subject again. So my buddies texted me. We have a group chat with a couple of my buddies. Like, what are you guys up to tonight? I said, we're podcasting. And I sent them a picture that I had taken of the bourbon. One of them writes back, I'm jealous. The second one writes back, You podcast with a Bruins fan with a puke face.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes, listen in.
It would have to be. I have to go back and listen to it because when you originally said it, I think you started laughing in front of it. You said you podcast with a Bruins fan, and then I could have swore you said with a pube face, and I'm like, give me that fucking phone. Give me that fucking phone. I'm gonna throw it right out.
Vomit.
I missed. I didn't hear the puke part. I'm like, that motherfucker.
I haven't seen this emoji with the puke
Where's
face.
that emoji? That son of a.
Speaking of friends that we have few or more, whatever. Any of them give you like real feedback on what we do?
I actually have a guy from Dylan's hockey team that loves it.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
he
you,
says
him.
he listens to it all the time.
Let's give him a
Sometimes
shout out.
He's working late nights and he listens to it, and he asks me every week at practice, like, what pizzas are you doing this week? And
Excellent.
you know, he loves it. Says it's great.
All right. Thank you to him.
Yeah.
I haven't got much feedback at all.
Okay, you got to advertise
Other than
hard.
apparently-
You got to advertise harder.
Yeah, apparently
Sure.
you have a great voice, I heard. I don't know. That's what they tell me.
Lots of positive.
Okay, what about you, Mr.
The feedback I got.
Is Ditch the Bruins guy?
Well, apparently.
Puke.
My lovely, beautiful wife. She's like, tell your guys to back away from the microphone when they're chewing on the crust.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Alicia said that. She goes, the chewing's got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing but great stuff.
Yeah.
People really embrace the difference between. It's not just about the
It's
Buffalo
for those
Bills.
ASMR fans we have
Yeah,
out there.
I think you're out of
That
towners.
wanna hear that.
They love it.
We're
Sean?
trying to bring you into the room with us.
Yes.
That's right.
We want you to know if it's good crust or not good crust.
You remember my other buddy who I told you we can't have on because he's Bill's
'Cause you hate
hater.
him.
Oh, yeah. Him.
He's in this group, and he
Oh,
wrote.
God.
He followed up with it and said, "Even worse, they're Bills fans."
Did he have a pube emoji or was it a puke?
Yeah, it was pube
Oh,
for sure.
He's got definitely. Sean, what kind of feedback do you got?
No, positive feedback all the way around. People.
Mrs. Martin still your number one fan?
She's checking in every week. She's like, it's fantastic.
Does she listen from start to finish on every episode or what?
I think she does. And the thing was, it kicked off a conversation at one of the concerts we were at last week.
Yep.
And someone overheard us talking about it, not really connected.
Anyone I know? You know?
No, I know. I mean, he's like, I like pizza. Because she was talking about how she went out and tried one of the pizzas that we promoted or we actually had on the show, and the guy literally out of the blue in a row behind us chimed in. He's like, I like pizza. What's it called? And it creates this domino effect of this conversation. But no, truth be told, realistically, the greatest gift is it's great to enjoy with a bunch of great guys here. It's fantastic. And even when they lose, it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
So for all the turmoil and up and downs we've had this season, this podcast has been a beautiful outlet for both the good and the bad of this season.
I think people also might that tune in like to hear us maybe shit on them a little bit because they're probably saying the exact same things when they're watching them too.
I think a lot of fan bases do that.
Well, and I'll tell you this too, from someone who went from fan and listener to sitting at this table. Kyle knows I would text him every week, and I'd be like, this, and I like this, and I didn't like that, and I love this. And Kyle kept trying to get me to come on, and you know, my schedule sucks, and I'm like, whatever, I'll get there when I can. When I came on, there was no turning back.
Yeah.
I'm like, Kelly, I don't care what we got going on. I got to find a night. I'm going, you know, we're going to do this.
Right.
And I said it yesterday to all you guys in the text. I couldn't wait to celebrate with this group.
Yeah.
You know what I
It was
mean?
exciting day.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, and I thank you for starting it, and thank you for including me, even if some
Absolutely.
neighbors don't want me in.
Yeah, so
I
it's
think
it's like the American dream, basically. You know, you just want to be on the podcast, basically.
Bourbon pizza football.
I did not
Once
know
you're
that.
on, you've made it.
I have that at home. No one ever drinks it. Knob Creek.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Knob Creek is my favorite.
Great.
You want to know why? Because like I was telling him, this bottle with the glasses was $35.
Yeah.
That I don't know what these cost, but the other ones are stupid expensive. And
Okay. Well, early Christmas gift. Don't bring it next week, please, because I'll bring my bottle, and we can have at it. Because I've had a bottle that size forever.
Only if you drink much.
Here's the thing.
You're on vacation. You have no excuse not to have it.
It's really.
Someone will drive you home, or your wife will pick you up.
Chris will tell you. Like it's kind of like The one cardinal sin of education is you can't come into school smelling like liquor. Like, you just can't.
You can.
You
I've
really can't.
I have
It's
plenty
like,
of teachers in high school that were drinking in
yeah,
class. I think.
it's one of those things where it's like the scarlet letter. Like, you can't come in smelling of liquor. So it's tough on next week. Oh hell yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll bring the Knob
first.
Creek.
Yeah.
A first. I'll bring the Knob Creek. I'm gonna bring my drink, which no one has ever heard of, but
Slippery nipple?
No, that's good. It is Jack Fire and Coke. I drink straight up Jack Fire and Coke.
We talked about this before.
We talked about it before.
No one's heard of that before?
No, no one ever
one's
did.
drinking
I'm the only
beer?
one who has ever gotten it that I've ever met or never.
Yep.
People look at me weird, and I'm like, it's beautiful. It's
get it
pop,
at trivia?
cinnamon. I get a trivia all the time. Have you ever seen anyone else get a trivia?
No.
So next week, absolutely. I'm letting loose because you want to know why? Got a week off, baby.
Yeah. It's Kwanzaa.
There we go.
Gentlemen, I got to run because it is school night. Mike, I want to wish you and your family a great Merry Christmas with your daughters. Have a blast. Brendan, my God, I know this is your season with the T-shirt and the mug and Christmas vacation. You and your family have a great vacation. Enjoy yourself.
I don't have the blow-ups as much as Sean, but I try to do my best.
I gotta go-
Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you too.
Yeah, I got to go turn them off. Denny, to you and your family, have a wonderful Christmas. And Kyle,
You too.
take a little time off. You've worked really hard, my man. Whether it's the podcast, whether it's
Watch the movie,
trivia.
Jesus.
I'm going to send you The Wonderful Life. I might send it to Alicia, too, and mandate just the last 10 minutes.
I don't even know if she's seen it.
Watch it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, my God. It's a wonderful. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Great Bills game, great Bills week. Merry Christmas to all.
You too, buddy.
To all, a good night.
All right, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Sabres.
Go Sabres. Bye, Sean. Drive safe.
So
see you soon.
two more things really quick. So
That's fine.
My buddy just sent us a GIF of a Tampa Bay Buccaneer holding
A GIF or a GIF?
Whatever. I call it
what
a
do you
GIF.
say?
I say GIF.
I say GIF.
Okay. Well,
Sean, GIF or GIF?
yeah. See, listen, peanut butter.
Hey,
it's not GIF.
Here, take his mic.
Oh yeah.
Is mine not working?
No.
Rotate.
Now we have 4.
There you go. Hang on. I'll fill in my story. Fire it up, baby.
Different view for a couple minutes.
Yeah, right?
Okay, so he just sent us the 2 because he has 2 Super Bowls and whatever.
Whatever. Tell him to get a life.
So the other thing is, you just said something about a buttery or slippery nipple.
Slippery or buttery nipples or
So
whatever. I love those.
I got to tell you a funny story. So the buttery nipple is Bailey's Irish Cream with some butterscotch schnapps, right?
Yep.
Good drink.
Yep.
My grandmother, God rest her soul, 92 years old. She loved her whiskey. Christmas, I'm making a couple of these buttery nipples. She's, at this point, hammered. Michael, give me one of those nipples. We called her Nana. Okay, Nana, I'll make you a nipple.
A Nana for nipple. Merry
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nipple for Nana.
And if they're buttery, they are slippery. So you know.
Yeah,
True
same
that.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your second thing?
No, it was just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's sent us to. He's a good dude, but he's an antagonist. He just
Does he listen to this?
no.
Okay.
You know, it's funny. My uncle, so
It's
he
okay,
lives
though.
locally.
That's
he's a big Bucks fan as well, but he's been
Since
a
the All-Star
Bucks fan
days?
Since All-Star.
Ricky,
like
Ricky
when they were
Waters?
good.
No.
You know, back.
Who's
in
our
the days.
back? Ricky Dunn.
Work done.
Work done. Yeah, I'm close.
Anyone outside of Mike Allstat, I don't care.
Dude, Mike Allstat
He
was
was
a
a beast. Oh,
He give him
he
the ball on
just
the
looked
one,
like
and
a
he
fucking
scored.
Football player.
But the one cool thing about Work Done is he was very supportive of single mothers.
Yeah,
and
he built the homes, right?
Homes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he built single
homes.
Yeah, and my auto. No,
That's the good one, Kyle. Give us a review. Good eggnog, double the price of the
All right,
Upstate,
folks.
Pittsford Farms.
I have claimed myself years ago as a eggnog connoisseur.
Mm-hmm.
And I am sipping on a Pittsford Farms dairy, which I believe you can get this from Wegmans, correct?
Yes. Double the price of the Upstate Farms.
This is, I would say, and I've had Hoover Dairy, and Hoover Dairy was my favorite because it was thicker. Had the right blend of nutmeg and whatever. This will give Hoover's Dairy a run for its money. I like it.
I do like that one, that it is very creamy and not as spiced, I guess you could say. I feel like the nutmeg and everything isn't the overpowering factor. It's really the other, whether it's the egg whites or whatever, the milk that comes through?
The other one that that Brendan delightfully delivered is the Upstate Farms original eggnog. 2 samples in, the nutmeg balanced out quite well, so it's decent. But the Pittsford Farms was better tonight.
Yeah, and that Upstate, that the spices really punch on that one.
So my takeaway is that Brendan likes it creamy.
I do like it creamy, that's for sure.
I do like eggnog, and people look at me like, ew, I don't know what's wrong with that guy.
I don't know why. It's delightful.
People just don't like it. Dennis, do you like eggnog?
Not particularly.
Yep.
I don't hate it, but like I don't like seek it out.
Right.
Like if it's there, okay, but I don't seek it out.
So here's a gross story I'm going to tell you. Back in
Can't wait.
back in my days of delivering Perry's ice cream in Erie, Pennsylvania, I became really friendly with the Meadowbrook milk driver, and we would meet every Friday at the same Dollar General downtown Erie, Pennsylvania, 8th and State.
Okay, I know right where it is.
Right around the corner from Erie Insurance,
Yep,
I believe,
from
which
my
was
home office. Yep.
fourth and something, correct?
Yep, and Erie Insurance
Yep.
Place. Yep.
So right around the corner, me and this guy would meet up every week, and come this time of year, he would hook me up with some eggnog, and I would return the favor with a little ice cream here and there. I would drink probably each of those before I left the city limits,
No shit.
wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of dairy.
and that was weekly leaving Erie, and I was addicted to eggnog, like addicted. And then like in my travels of delivering around, so my coverage area back in the day was from Ripley, so that would be the New York State line, through Ohio, and everything from Interstate 90 north to the lake. I had all that area.
That's a huge
And
territory.
any random market, store, whatever, I would check to see if they had a different eggnog brand that I've never had before, just to see. There was a Schneider's Milk Dairy that was okay. Titusville Dairy was pretty good. But the Hoovers was good. I had one this year, and it wasn't as thick.
Interesting.
It was as thick. But
Wonder what happened with the cows.
I would hate to speculate that they kind of maybe
Thin it
lessened
out to go
in-
for more
well,
volume.
Hoover's was so thick that you could pour it into because I've got like 6 milk jugs on top of that thing of Hoover bottles, but you could take your bottle, pour it in another one, and then cut them with milk, and it would be just as thick as these. I mean, it was great.
So I was going to ask you, have you ever poured the eggnog in the ice cream machine?
I have.
And?
It didn't go well because at the time I poured it in there, my hopper was very low, and I poured it in there directly into the chamber that was mixing and freezing, and it froze instantly. So then I pulled it. I got a picture here where I've got that entire blender thing frozen solid with soft serve and then eggnog at the back. If I would have taken the eggnog an equal amount of, or take this whole thing with the soft serve and put it into a bucket
Blend
and mix
it.
it all together, I bet you it would be awesome. So I'm willing to experiment next
Or
time.
if maybe
next
you just
batch.
had like so much eggnog as much as you would have the soft serve, you think?
Unless it's got different freezing properties. This could freeze because the ice cream's got to be like -20.
Okay.
And if this is only 0, then that's going to freeze up way faster. So that could be the issue. So I might just be able to put enough in to give you the hint of eggnog, but maybe not a lot of eggnog. Well, we
Yeah.
could try it.
Because you see eggnog ice cream, but not very much.
No, you do not.
Not very often.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Nope. And I don't even know where my love of eggnog came from. I don't know if it's just randomly one time I tried it. I'm like, oh my God, this is the most delicious thing to touch my lips, and who knows? And then I don't know. But I've been trying to lay off of it. So
It'll pack on the pounds, that's for sure.
Folks, when you have an ice cream machine in your basement and you do pizza reviews every week, you don't really want to add eggnog to the regular. I do love the eggnog. So here we go. Bill's highlights. James Cook running like a beast. I'm trying to think.
I like the flip. I like the flip a
I'm
lot.
trying to think who he runs like. He doesn't run like Thurman because I think he's a bigger dude, slender, definitely more athletic than Thurman.
He's Cook. He's the only guy.
When,
He's the only guy,
when
man.
you listen back, Sean, because you left, I disagree with Sean. I don't think
With
he looked
Barry?
like Barry Sanders. I mean, when you watch Barry Sanders, that dude could turn
That-
90 degrees.
That's a big comparison.
Yeah.
That's huge.
He's not him yet.
Has anybody
Yeah.
watched the documentary yet?
Not
You know
yet.
who he reminds me of? Who was that running back for the Chiefs today? Priest Holmes?
Priest Holmes was there.
He was,
yeah.
he was
Was
for
it
the
him?
Chiefs. I wouldn't. That doesn't really recommend. Or
Who
you're
was the
thinking
guy
of
after him?
Jamal Charles.
Yes, him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's like Cook is a stand-up kind of running back.
Yeah.
Like where Thurman, Barry were all like real low, shifty kind of guys.
Yeah.
I don't think Cook's that. He's
Did you watch the Barry documentary?
Not yet. I've heard all about it. I heard how great it is.
Was it
I've
really
not
good?
watched it yet.
I've been wanting to see it. I just haven't had time.
It's on either Netflix or Amazon.
So Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but I heard it's great. So
I loved watching Barry Sanders play, and I loved to watch Bo Jackson.
Yeah, Bo Jackson, like that. That's the one that you think about all the football people, and like we lost so much there because of the injury.
I was at the game where that was his last game of the year was here. Or last game of his career was here.
Yep.
When he got the hip pointer or whatever, but he never played again. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
a shame.
Yep.
Talent like that, man.
Yeah.
Oh, here they are, right there. They just showed the Oilers jerseys and stuff. Speaking of those different jerseys, how sweet would it be if the Bills could rock a red helmet?
I would like that.
Well, you remember when Josh came out in the training camp?
God,
people
why
went nuts.
won't-
Not this year,
when
but
are
the
they
last
gonna-
year. Yeah.
Oh, I want them to run that helmet back.
Yeah.
This play too. Did you see this play? The end of Chicago.
Oh,
Dude
yeah.
had it in
Oh
his
yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
That guy should have wrangled that in.
Oh
he
my
had,
God.
It seemed like so many opportunities, and that's what you asked for.
This play too.
Oh!
Oh, well,
That was an amazing touch.
this hurts because I have Higgins on my fantasy team.
And he's on your bench.
Yeah, but I wanted them to lose. No, I played them, but
Oh.
I just wanted Cincinnati to lose
That touchdown
so bad.
was
And I'll tell you,
amazing.
that Mullins or whatever his name is for the Vikings,
Yeah.
he's terrible. He
Is
is
it?
QB?
bad.
I didn't watch any of that game, but
I watched a majority of it, and it was similar to these other games. They got up early, and then just like the weaknesses in these backups just showed up.
Yeah.
Like I have to fault the Vikings coaches because they had a 3rd and 1 and they ran like a tush push type of play twice in a row, 3rd down and 4th down, and they didn't make it either
Really?
time, and the guy got blown up. And it was just they didn't have it.
see that
And-
to me that makes the argument of the tush push, like whether it should be legal or not. It should be legal, I think,
Sure, if you can
because
make-
like
you
not
can do it, you can
everybody
do
can
it.
do it
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So like if you're just better at it, I mean that's good for you. Sorry, I kind of
Oh no!
Kinda overspoke you there a little bit.
No, that's a great point, and especially with a backup quarterback, like okay, 3rd and 1, it didn't work. Don't go for it on 4th and 1. And they had a running back who was crushing. I forget who the Vikings running back was.
was it
in that
Madison?
game. No, it wasn't. It was somebody else. It was I'll have to look it up, but this guy was just running all over the place. And I mean, 1 yard, this guy could have got 4. Like it seemed like he was unstoppable.
Well, they didn't line up in shotgun 4 times when they needed 1 yard. No,
it
that
was
was
right under center. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Folks, if you... Oh, sorry, Dennis. Go ahead.
Chandler
Yep.
Okay.
was the running back.
Yeah.
Folks, thank you for tuning in this long into the episode. I want to wish all friends and family a Merry Christmas and to all a good night. Let's go Bills.
Go Bills.
And
Go Bills. Merry
have
Christmas.
a happy holiday season, safe season, and you'll hear from us soon.
Go Bills. We'll see you on Kwanzaa.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Zaw Bills Podcast is a presentation of Kmart Productions, sponsored by Doug's Chiropractic and Empire Tour and Recovery. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Zaw Bills is executively produced by Kyle. Executive sound engineering by Kyle. Art, lighting, music, also by Kyle.